Right, hello, and welcome back to the Funfiltered podcast.
Or just two.
Yes, welcome. What?
They might not have listened before, so might just be welcome too.
Oh, we've got 6 listeners, Sam. Come on.
Yeah, but with the 7th might feel left out by what you just said.
Hi, number 7. There you are.
Okay.
I'm once again joined by Sam.
Hello.
And Jordan.
I think death would be more terrifying if it only happened to some people.
What?
Do you think this?
He's got to have like a I don't what's the right word? A spanner.
All right, spanner.
Not a point. A spanner. Even when he's not doing the introduction. Go on. What are you on about?
Do you not think that?
I forgot what you said.
I think death would be more terrifying if it only happened to some people. Because it's a terrifying thing, like it's going to happen to all of us, but there's almost a comfort knowing that...
I'm not scared of death.
Well, no, but there's a comfort in knowing that, it's going to happen to everyone.
Right.
But can you imagine going through life thinking, I might die before I'm 40, or I might live forever? I have no idea.
But you're still living... You could die before you're 40, or you could die before you're 30, or you could die before you're 80.
Yeah, but you know, like, 100 years from now, I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, that is certain.
Yeah, that is certain.
Yeah.
But imagine...
I mean, with
like,
the advancements in technology, not necessarily.
I think we were born too early. I think if we were born now, maybe you could get to 100 based on developments. But I think we've already fucked our bodies up.
Oh yeah, we are making it past the 50s.
Build.
No, we can't.
But to be fair, I was having a conversation the other day, and I said I did have a thing of if, like, say, like time travel and like aliens and stuff are all like a real thing. I said they will have discovered them in the future, and they've realised they can't go back beyond a certain level because they just don't trust us.
Well, that's the biggest thing to discredit time travel, isn't it? That it'll never be invented because no one's ever come back. I always say, or maybe they have and you just don't know. Why?
And then I just go,
or maybe they'd have, and the 2020s aren't worth going back to.
Yeah.
So we'll just ignore that.
Also, no other period in human history.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm saying, what if there's in the future there is a law that says they can't go back to a certain point,
right? Because
they just can't trust us
to handle.
Or maybe it should be encouraging. Like, imagine how great the 2030s are going to be if the people from the future think, right, anything before 2030 is just not revisited.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, fucking all of this great shit that's happened.
Yeah.
It pales in comparison.
No, but
to
2033. To be fair, in 2030, Oprah is going to be the Pope. So.
Oh, the Pope. All right. Not even the Prime Minister. She's going to be the Pope. A far more important position in the world today.
Well, maybe not by that point. I read an interview with a sci-fi writer, and he said that time travel wasn't science fiction because science fiction still has to operate within the bounds of credible science. So the idea of science is that you can write fictitious stories, but the science has to be feasible. So, even if not currently provable, it has to be feasible. Whereas time travel it's an impossibility.
So time travel would be science fantasy?
It'd be just fantasy, I guess.
Oh, just straight up fantasy. Okay.
Because there's always the thing of like, there's no smoke without fire, so something comes from something. So like the idea of aliens comes from seeing things in the sky and possible crashes, basically.
Yeah.
Time travel comes from just an idea in I'm guessing a comic at some point. Someone came up with that idea.
It's time and space is the physics thing, right? Time and space, and so we travel everywhere through space. So I guess it came from what if you could travel through time?
Yeah, because I'm assuming in like the 60s they tried to see if they could invent it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there are people now researching possibilities. In fact, there almost certainly are.
Just a guy called Dave working in a lab.
Yeah,
Dave the time traveler.
But I guess the Time Machine, H.G. Wells, like the late 1800s, that would have been the birth of time travel as an obsession. But obviously, it's never going to happen.
No, it's not. But I wasn't talking about time travel. I was talking about death.
Yes. What about death?
Well, I've already proposed my thesis.
Death would be more terrifying if it only happened to some people.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Why?
I don't know why it would be more terrifying.
Well, because
you now exist in the possibility of you living forever.
But that's exactly the point. It's the possibility. Like, I could be dead soon, or I could live forever. I could live forever,
that make it
but
terrifying?
My wife could die. Like, there's no certainty anymore.
Well,
have hope.
The thing is, like, you're always trying to fracture my hypotheticals, so I have some questions for you.
Go on.
Is it a case that some people die, it's totally arbitrary, or is it like you live forever unless you are killed or die from something?
No, you can die of unnatural means.
Okay.
I'm talking about natural death.
Some people die naturally and some people don't.
Yes.
Why?
Because that's what I'm asking you.
No. If you're going to do it to me, tit for tat.
The problem is, if we get caught up in the lore of this hypothetical, the mechanics of it,
You can easily shut this down.
we're going to just get entangled in that.
No.
And the original point will disappear.
I just want to know, you're basically saying it's random.
Yeah.
Just some people die and some don't.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It's the same reason some people die before they're 40, some people live to their 100.
Yeah, but there are factors. There are reasons people die before they're 40.
Okay.
It's not completely... We don't know why some people die and some people don't. But that's what you're saying this hypothetical is.
Yeah.
Some do and some don't. We don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be more terrifying?
the reason that we age,
Yeah.
right, is that our cells...
Well, matter decays.
Yeah, matter decays, yeah. But our cells regenerate themselves.
Yeah.
But like after a certain point, is it after like 27, we stop...
Your brain stops developing.
Your brain stops developing. Right, I'm going to shut this window. Because cars and birds have not stopped since we started.
If it gets too warm, we will have to reopen it though.
Okay. Sorry, listeners, it should be... it should be better. It should be better now.
Don't fucking do that. Just because I wanted the window open. Like, oh, sorry, listeners, I was the one looking out for you.
No, they don't know that, though. They don't know that.
I know.
They don't know there's a reason.
But I know
We
that.
just sounded unprofessional.
But I know that, and that was a little dig.
It wasn't a little
it's
dig.
now better, listeners.
It wasn't a little dig. It was informed. It was giving the audience context, because context matters, Sam.
You didn't give them context.
I did.
You didn't say that I wanted the window open and you didn't. That's context.
Okay, well, I meant to give them that information.
Right, okay, well, you didn't. Continue.
Okay. My apologies.
It's alright.
Can I just quickly point out, right? You know when you started saying about the fact that he liked to like shatter like your hypotheticals. I genuinely thought you were just going to turn around and shatter his by saying that he didn't have a wife.
Alright, okay.
I just saw that's where you.
Not even in the hypothetical.
I thought you were just going to turn around, Sam, and shatter him. Sam, I have a hypothetical.
Shut up! Right, where were we in this?
We're not even 10 minutes in. We
haven't started talking about anything yet.
Death. That's like the first thing.
Well, you ease them in slowly, you know?
Where were we?
Ease them in slowly with death.
It's going to be an upbeat podcast.
I think I was saying like the reason that we age is because after a certain point our body stops producing cells quickly enough or something like that. And also there's like when it recreates our cells, it recreates them as they were. It doesn't recreate like a perfect version of that cell. It's like if the cell is already damaged, it will recreate a damaged cell.
Right.
It doesn't repair itself.
I'm not qualified to talk in depth about all this stuff.
I'm not entirely sure that I'm on the right lines, but basically there is like there are obviously natural processes that repair our body.
Yeah.
But those natural processes...
They slow.
They eventually fail us.
Yes.
So some people, those processes don't fail them. That's why they live... That's why they live forever, is because some people just age properly.
Some people just get cancer and some people don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't find it any more terrifying.
I would.
Why?
Well, because I might have forever to do whatever I want.
Right.
To have my, my career in film and to, live with people that I love and stuff like that. But, like, it's not just the fact that, like, oh, I could die tomorrow. Like, you could die tomorrow. My girlfriend could die tomorrow. Anything like that.
He doesn't have a girlfriend. That's
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, but again, you live in that reality now of I could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it because there's a finite cap.
Yeah.
As you see, like I'm getting to like 80 and past that, like
But that's the comfort, is because like when I suppose when we get to like middle aged and probably like our 50s and our 60s, if we even get there,
right?
Like it'll become a more real possibility. Now that we're sort of in our 20s, it's like, oh yeah, death's a thing that you don't really have to worry about that,
Well, not I mean.
It'll come eventually, but it's not an immediate concern.
Well, it's individual experience, isn't it? Like, I don't want to make it serious, but like, I have lived under the spectre of what I thought might have been death.
Yeah.
For a year.
Yeah.
So I have been thinking about it fairly constantly.
Yes.
So like now, it doesn't seem like a faraway place necessarily. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, but that's the thing. Like, I imagine, to me, obviously we have different. So you have to have an opinion on this, Eddie. We will come to you because you haven't said anything yet. It hasn't passed me by. But yeah, I would imagine that like living in that state of like, there's hope that I won't die.
Right.
Like I imagine you would be constantly living in that spectre like you were for that year. you'd be constantly living in terror because, like, it could happen now, or it could never happen.
Yeah, there's an expression: die before you die.
Exactly. Yeah.
Face it before. Yeah, it's going to happen.
And the possibility that you will never have to face it would just kind of leave you unprepared for it if it ever shows up.
But sure, you'd still. Like there's that cliche, live as if today's your last day sort of thing, which you because it could be.
Yeah.
That would still be the case. I think you wouldn't fundamentally change how you live because you would just think, I could still die tomorrow. Yeah. Or I could die, because it'd still be a mean, right?
Yeah.
Like most people die around this age.
Yeah.
Unless it was totally random.
Well, it is totally random.
Right, okay.
Well, no. I suppose if we're going on the theory that some people's cells correctly repair themselves, then some people would never die naturally.
But so like, obviously, children can get cancer and die.
Yeah.
This is a fun podcast.
Yes. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Children can get
with this fun hypothetical to open the podcast.
Children get cancer and die. But the odds are that you're not going to die until you're in your old age.
Yeah.
If you're saying there are no odds in this universe where it can be any time, would it be more terrifying? I don't know, because you're born into that reality. And so your mindset is necessarily different than ours.
You're kind of like accustomed to that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, life would be even more rich because you would truly live as if today was your last day, rather than like, well, the odds are I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Odds are out the window, and so it would just be, I've got to enjoy it while I'm here.
As someone, though, who obviously, well, I say as someone, we all don't live in that reality.
No.
But I don't know, just the thought, like, I don't see how you could constantly be checking, like, oh, I'm 100 today. So I'm still going.
I suppose if it shifted, if all of a sudden there was a click, there was a Thanos click, and now it's totally, your odds, there are no more, the percentages are off now. That would be more terrifying. You just roll the dice one day and you're going to be dead.
Yeah. But or you might not die at all.
Or you might not die at all. But if you're born into it, I think that's a different story.
Right, okay.
In answer to your question, if that became the case now, I would be more terrified
if
of it.
We randomly made the jump to that. What if...
It would be more terrifying.
But if we were born into that, you don't think it would mean anything to you?
No, because I just think the psychology would be fundamentally different.
Okay. Thoughts, Eddie?
Well, I think in that situation, I would be more afraid of living forever.
Yeah.
See, the only reason I would be afraid of living forever, I mean, there is that fear like, oh, you wouldn't get anything done.
Can you kill yourself?
You can,
yes. Yeah, so like, if you live to be 200, you would just off yourself.
Like, our bodies are made in a way that we're meant to die.
Yes.
So the idea of being like 800 years old, absolutely
see,
not.
Like my only worry about that is the fact that like you wouldn't get anything done. Like we're in our 20s now and we don't get shit done
also,
because there's no real...
speak for yourself.
If we're going by
I've used lockdown very semi-productively.
If we're going by this fantastical notion of that the process of cell death doesn't happen to you, then you would stay 27 forever, basically, right?
Yeah, but
that's a thought. I don't actually know in this... I assume,
Yeah, you think 800, you think like a Merlin, like... But you wouldn't necessarily be there.
Yeah, you would be a saggy sack on the fucking floor.
You would just be you, now, basically, but just more world-weary.
So I've got 800 years worth of dealing with the shit that goes on out there. No thanks.
But also,
I'd still fucking top myself.
Sort of jumping ahead a little bit to our Doctor Who discussion. A couple of the episodes deals with a character who's been gifted with immortality or cursed with immortality, and in that episode she has children who die. And she specifically says, right, no more children. Can't be doing with that. That's the other thing I would fear is choosing to share a life with somebody who ends up being one of the unlucky people who died.
Joe, I've never seen that portrayed convincingly. I've seen it done pretty well, but like vampires and stuff like that, where they've lived for thousands of years. I've never seen a portrayal of someone that old and thought, yes, I imagine that is how you would behave if you were that. Do you know what I mean? It's always like, oh, I've seen things. I don't know. I just don't buy it. I don't know what it looks like. I think I know it when I see it.
Well, it sounds silly to say, but those people have a completely different life experience to us.
Yeah.
But it's usually it's not just a case of, oh, I am, Dave down who works in the shop, but I've lived for 1,000 years. It's people like the Doctor or vampires who operate completely differently to us.
Yes.
People who are capable of filling their time by seeing the entire universe.
Don't even live in three-dimensional space.
Exactly,
Yeah, I wonder what the percentage would be if it was like you don't die naturally, you can only be killed. And let's say cancer isn't, or things like that aren't a factor.
Well, cancer
either.
is a cell reproduction problem, right? Your cells overproduce.
Infinitely.
Yeah. That's what a tumor is.
Cancer is immortality, essentially.
Yeah. Ironically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what the average would be, like, how long can a person get by without being killed by something? What would the average be?
Well, I imagine you would probably get, like, culty groups,
Yeah.
who are like, the immortals must die. Like, they deliberately go around killing people who are mortal.
Well, I was going to say, like, in that instance, if you're living every day like it's your last, on some of those days, would you not go looking for
Yeah, like, I'll have a day off from this being my last day, you know?
No,
I've
but
lived for 400 years, I'm probably okay, you know?
No, but, like, you know, you get to, like, 400 years old, and then you're like, I'm just going to walk down that alley in Brixton today.
But you're 25, right? And you know that you're not going to live
I'm
forever.
going to jump off a cliff for a laugh, just see what happens, yeah?
You're 25 and you know you're not going to live forever, but there are still days where you don't act as if your time is finite. That's just people. You know that you don't have that long on this planet, relatively speaking, but you're not acting as if that's the case.
Yeah.
None of us are.
Cheers, dude.
I'm saying, only
You're sitting here wasting your time recording a podcast with us.
this.
Hey, they're listening to it. They're fucking wasting their time.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
This is what people go to caves to realize, to meditate about, right? Like, only the truly enlightened live that way. No one lives that way. So I think that nothing would really change if you lived forever. But again, it's like, where's the hypothetical end? Because, like, you imagine a guy that is like, I can live forever, thus I won't do anything.
Yeah.
I won't leave the house. Are we removing things like heart disease because he's so unfit? Is everything like that?
I know what you're saying, yeah. All illness wouldn't disappear, I don't think.
No, I guess your life.
He gets to 800, finally gets corona. Just
I would say if
Well, it's time.
let's assume that you're 27, but if you keep yourself fit, you won't die naturally.
Oh yeah, I think that's the other thing as well. You wouldn't have. See, this is what I'm worried about: getting tangled in the minutiae.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're,
but I think if
you just live like me, it's just like, I'll just have a Chinese because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Like, you'll still probably die before you're 40.
I think I've got a point of resolution though. I think that if it's a case of you can still die of all the things life can throw at you, other than old age, so you can keep yourself fit and everything. I imagine your life cycle will be pretty much the same.
Okay.
At some point, you're going to get cancer.
Is it a case of
no one's going to live 400 years? Is my point.
No. But is it a case of like they talk about like with millionaires or even billionaires? Like if we spend £1 on something, that's like a billionaire spending 10 grand on something.
Right.
That's what it means to them.
Yeah.
Is it like that? It's just like we have the same experience. It's just the difference is the time frame. It's like, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym this week. Oh, I won't go to the gym this century. Is it that kind of thing?
Well, I don't. That's my point. I don't think anyone would actually live that long. I think even if you never died of old age, you just live long enough, and some disease or illness is going to kill you.
Right.
No one's getting past 200, I don't think, unless
Okay.
they live a very sheltered, healthy life.
Right.
You're gonna catch flu, or coronavirus, or you're going to get heart disease, or something's gonna kill you just by being alive that long.
But I mean, it's all about there's a lot of luck involved, obviously.
boredom would kill me.
You just kill yourself, I think.
I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right. That was that.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Those are
If you've made it past the first 20 minutes, thanks, folks.
Okay, my first floater this episode.
Oh, you're making this a thing, are you?
Yeah.
You're just going to drop floaters in
Well, I don't think
in
of,
our laps.
I don't think of poop. You're the one who thinks, like I said before, I think of eyes.
You're thinking that. He's thinking of poop, and he just said, oh, you're just going to drop floaters in our laps.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Shit on us,
He's
thanks,
trying
mate.
to do a thing.
That's the joke, Eddie.
Well, if you think of flotsam or...
You're on a comedy podcast. Get with the program.
No, I'm shitting on your shit.
If you think of... We're not a comedy podcast. If you think of flotsam or jetsam, we can cover all the meanings of floaters that way. So you've got that, I've got eyes, and you've got poop.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, what's he done now?
No, he hasn't done anything.
Okay.
I would say that he has almost certainly done more voiceover jobs because the joke is that Morgan Freeman does voiceovers more than he's done voiceovers to earn that reputation.
Okay.
Would you agree? How many voiceovers has he done? Sincerely. He's done The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
I don't know if he narrates Driving Miss Daisy. I haven't seen it, but I can see that being the case. And he narrates Seven.
Okay.
Has he done anything else? March of the Penguins, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
After that, isn't everything just the joke is that Morgan
I
Freeman
am
does
Morgan
voiceover.
Freeman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's definitely done like 3 times more voiceover work because the joke is that Morgan Freeman does voiceovers, right?
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Teddy is looking
He's
this up.
Googling it.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it true? How many films has he narrated?
I'm trying to find. I was just looking at the films he's done.
Yeah.
And trying to see how many of them. I mean, he narrates little bits of like Bruce Almighty and stuff.
But he's Morgan Freeman by that point, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is it Shawshank?
When did he become Morgan Freeman?
I think Shawshank.
Okay.
Because I think he started acting quite late.
Yeah, he was a late bloomer. He was like in his
80s,
40s,
yeah.
50s.
Yeah, not in his
Yeah, he was in the 80s. He started acting.
80, yeah. So I think
his first film, I think, was 80. According to this.
the Shawshank Redemption's got to be the crystallizing one, right?
Yes.
He was my friend.
Yes.
And all that.
Yeah.
I hope. That's the film. We're like, okay, Morgan Freeman does voiceovers.
Yeah.
Did 7 the next year.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Oh, that's shocking. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Shawshank has such a...
Drive Miss Daisy was earlier.
7 or something.
89.
89.
It was just because of the reputation of Shawshank, but I assume that was a much older film than 7.
Yeah, only a year
7
older.
feels quite modern, whereas Shawshank feels like a classic film, like a
Yes.
film from olden times.
Monumental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I think it's set in olden times. That probably
helps.
it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's a timeless story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so even though it's period, I don't really think of the period when I think of Shawshank. It's just kind of like it could be now.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those stories. Except they probably have better measures to keep inmates in now than they did back in whenever it was, the 60s, the 70s. He broke out. I don't know. Do we know, Eddie?
I don't know.
Okay,
He's done. It's a lot.
We were in co-op the other week, and they've set.
Was Morgan Freeman there?
He wasn't there.
Oh, we moved on from Morgan
We moved
Freeman.
on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say and that is the Morgan Freeman stuff done.
Yeah.
We've got to talk we got
as
to
if
it's
it's
conversation.
Also, I don't know why I was like, oh, what's Morgan Freeman done now when you introduced it?
Yeah.
He's a nice man. He hasn't done anything
I think he's
wrong.
sensible. I don't think he's even one of them.
Yeah.
When I say one of them, I mean the social.
Careful, Sam.
He's neither a nonce nor a social justice activist.
Okay.
I think
He's too busy doing voiceovers. That's why.
Yeah.
I think
time.
principally he's too old. He's seen all that shit.
Is it like the Ricky Gervais thing where he sort of found fame so late that he's kind of like, I don't need to do the politicking. I can just be honest with what I think.
That's part of it, but I just also he's seen genuine civil rights.
Oh yeah.
And so probably doesn't look too favourably on. But I have no idea. He could be an ardent
it's just
BLM guy.
speculation.
Yes, we were in the co-op.
Just logs on his Instagram, it's just full of Black Lives Matter.
I was listening to Funfiltered. Fuck those guys.
They've got a one-way system, obviously, in all these shops now. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've heard this, but over the Tannoy, they're like, be a local hero. Abide the one-way system.
Oh, they don't have those in the shops right near me, no.
No?
You just left to fend for yourself.
What was I going to say? When you said you're in the co-op, I assumed you meant my co-op.
Yeah. It's the one near you.
Yeah.
Yes. Do they know what they're doing? Calling people fucking heroes. Don't call me a hero for abiding a one-way fucking system.
Yeah, for following the rules. Oh, you fucking legend.
They're sending the world to hell. I think it's like, you could argue it's an incentive. Like, oh hey, I'll be a hero if I
if I walk this way instead of that way, yeah.
But you know what it's going to be, right? Instead of that incentive, like, oh, if I'm careful, I'll be a hero. When all is said and done, it's going to be, yeah, you know what? I was a fucking hero through the coronavirus pandemic.
I only do it because I'm just used to doing the one-way system now.
I'm not slamming the one-way system.
No, that's the only reason I do it. And then I was in Tesco's with someone the other day.
Yeah.
And the Tesco we were in did not specify a one-way system. It had a way in and a way out, but once you got to the aisles...
Yeah, they seem to have ripped it up in my Tesco.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing with Tesco.
There's no one on the door anymore either. You can just walk in and out.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing with Tesco, basically. Yeah. But yeah, so we went up an aisle, and then we just came back down the aisle. But we went up on the left-hand side, we came down on the other side, right? Yeah. And then this woman comes into the aisle, and she's like, oh, where do I buy the fucking one-way system? And we just went, there isn't one, love.
Yeah, one-way system, yeah.
Did you say love as well? You had the condescending
there isn't one, love.
There isn't one, love. Walk away.
And they were just like left. And they was like...
Just grabbed her hair, like pushed them on the ground. Do you see any arrows on the ground?
Into the tomatoes. I was like, fuck you, bitch. Like...
That seems aggressive, but I imagine that would be very comfortable.
No, but
He hurled me into the mattress.
No, but it was like, right, there isn't one. Like, why are you having it? Right, if it's very clearly not got one,
Yeah.
why are you having a go? Right?
I don't know, Eddie.
Like that. No, but that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get why she like made such a like. Not that I wear a face mask in a supermarket
Yeah.
at choice, but like she wasn't wearing a face mask or anything like that. She was one of the only people in that supermarket time not wearing one.
Right.
And I was like, I'd be more concerned with you sneezing than me walking the wrong way.
I just think I have some... I don't like the fascism on either side, pro-mask, anti-mask, all that sort of stuff.
Oh, it's all bollocks.
It's all bollocks. I give some people some leeway because we still don't know what the fucking rules are.
Yeah.
There's just no clarity whatsoever
Yeah.
about what we should be doing.
Yeah.
I choose to wear them in shops and on public transport. I mean, public transport's going to be mandatory soon anyway. But
Yeah, that I agree with.
I think
'cause
shops is going to be mandatory soon,
It is,
right?
yeah.
well, if it works in England, then yeah, it'll be mandatory over here.
Yeah.
I think it's just public transport seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's like
Well-
you're stuck in a hot environment.
You can't
with all
social
these-
distance.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, well, someone made the point of like, given how much they reckon it helps on public transport, why haven't we been doing this?
Maybe public transport was the test run. It's like, well, we can't social distance, so we'll test the masks. Oh, public transport's working.
Well, if
Maybe
you
we'll
recall,
spread that.
masks used to be discouraged at the start of all this. The masks do not help.
they don't do
wear
anything.
masks.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're very clearly, certainly in England anyway, the reason why they've become such a big deal is because they've opened everything, technically speaking, before it's ready.
Yeah.
So they're going, the mosques will help so that we can do
The masks.
Yeah.
Okay, you did just say mosques. I just want to clarify.
The mosques will
The
help.
mosques will help.
That's the title.
The mosques will help.
Yeah. I want to see what happens.
We're trying not to get cancelled this year.
Yeah, I want to see what
I
happens.
suppose we have like 3 or 4 titles orbiting Judaism.
I think
we should get Islam
when we
in.
call, as soon as we called an episode "Your God is a Nonce," we were sort of done for, you know.
Yeah, but that was non-specific.
Okay.
Whatever your God is.
Your
a nonce.
God, yes.
Yes.
Not this specific God.
And in context, what were we talking about? I can't remember what
we were talking about Ian Watkins from Lost Prophets.
that and his fans. That your God is a nonce. Your God's a nonce.
Yeah.
So, but I think even though in context that's completely fine, just the title, the mosques will help. I don't know. Actually, I suppose it's all based on.
That would be seen as like, oh, good, they're pro.
It's
mosque.
based on whether you know us, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's like if Richard Spencer, the white supremacist dude, if he put up a video saying the mosques will help, you go, oh god. Oh god, what's he saying?
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose you'd have to know what we talk about to be wary.
I mean, I would say, I'm not going to say it just off the cuff, but I can counteract it if you really want.
Well, you got it now. What? Go on.
I'll just turn around and say, no, actually, should I say that?
The synagogues will help. Is that what you're
No, I was just going to slag off
Muslims.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, seriously, don't.
Yeah.
That's the one we don't touch that. Okay. On the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I swear to God, this is just next on the list, and it's got nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Can I just say, if I get taken out between...
Yes. Why would you be taken
You
out?
never know who's
They're not
listening.
What are you saying about Muslims?
What are you
Eddie?
saying?
I'm saying,
Muslims are good,
if I
honest people.
suddenly die, I'm saying it won't be there.
I swear to God, this is just next on the list.
Okay.
But I've got a question about fire. It's got nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Okay. What are you implying, Sam?
I'm not implying anything. John, you asked a question about fire, like a kind of a rhetorical, philosophical question,
Did I?
a while ago.
It was something about burning a shed down.
I asked a philosophical question.
You did. You might not have known it.
All right.
Is fire on fire? Was your question?
Was I sober when I asked you this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You said, "Is fire on fire?" Do you I think it's.
I mean, he was on a shit ton of cocaine, so...
It might have been the adrenaline because we were burning stuff in the fire pit. I think is when you asked that
Oh
question.
yeah, we were helping a friend move,
helped
and
a
we
friend
were like, he lived with a couple of people, right, Eddie? And this one guy, I don't know why he had it, but he had a bunch of like firewood, and we didn't know what to do with it. We could have just thrown it out, but we decided, no, let's just burn all this firewood in the garden.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got a proper blaze going.
We did.
Yeah.
As I played Inferno themed songs.
Oh yeah, any song with the word fire or Inferno in the title, we were just playing
So,
it.
Oh, what are we talking?
We didn't start the fire, Billy Joel. It's got nothing to do with fire, but Fire by Kasabian, that sort of thing.
Did you play Relight My Fire?
I didn't.
No, we didn't get
The
around to that
Doors,
one.
we didn't get around to that one.
Fire.
We didn't do that either.
Oh.
Oh, that's the one I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that one.
Oh, disappointing.
That never occurred to me.
I feel like I would have called you out on that had you not played that.
No, didn't
Okay.
play that one. I've got another question about fire.
Okay.
I don't expect an answer.
Is fire on water?
No. When something is ablaze, why is it on fire? Because the fire's on it.
Yes.
I just wanted to pose that question. Write in. Comment on the video.
Well, it's language is like that, isn't it?
Yes.
What's that video? The English language is a meme. I think it's called. The English language is a meme. It's American English. This guy's American,
Right.
so he's talking about American English. But yeah, he's pointing out like the inconsistencies in language and stuff. Like, a ship will carry cargo, but a car will carry a shipment or something like that.
Right.
And things like, if you've got a temperature, you burn up, but a house burns down.
But that makes sense.
You drive on a parkway, but you park on a driveway. Shit like that.
Okay. But the burn up, burn down thing makes sense, though, right? A house does burn down. It collapses. Whereas burning up, it's like you start getting
temperature
warm when it comes
rising.
up, temperature rises.
Okay, I don't know where I got that one from then.
No, it feels like a thing someone would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a less rhetorical question.
Okay.
Removing like evil figures from the equation, should an actor portray a real person if the real person doesn't approve?
Should an actor...
So removing, like, say there's a dictator somewhere, I don't really give a shit whether they approve.
Well, I don't imagine King John, whichever one it is now, ever really approves of the people who portray him.
No, exactly.
Kim Jong-un.
Is that the current one?
Yeah, but we don't care about them.
Okay.
So I'm removing those from the equation. I'm just talking about real, could be a sports personality, whatever. And an actor's like, can I play you in a film? Are you cool with it? And they say, no, I'm not cool with it. I think Benedict Cumberbatch talked to Julian Assange when he was going to play him in The Fifth Estate.
Yeah.
Was that the film? And he didn't want him to do it.
No.
He didn't want the film to be made. But obviously,
you
have no right to stop it being made. But it's like, it's a personal thing. Should an actor go, okay, I won't know.
But the thing with that was he didn't want the film to be made.
Yes, yeah.
Rather than he didn't want to be portrayed by Cumberbatch.
But okay, either way, the real person doesn't want the film to be made then. Should an actor do it?
That's the thing. I feel like it depends on what it's about. Like if Elton John had turned around and didn't want Rocket Man, I feel like they still would have pushed to make Rocket Man.
Should they have?
Probably not. Whether if he really doesn't want a film made about him, just wait until he dies.
Wait until he dies. Well, that's the thing. Like I don't really have an answer myself. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah. No, it is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a duty to that real life? Because if presumably if they don't want you to portray them in the film, or they don't want the film to be made, presumably it's not a favourable look.
No, that's why I discounted.
Or it's a case of like Queen, where you're probably planning to make an accurate film, but they want this like fantasy in its place.
Is this the real life?
Yeah.
Is this just fantasy?
Exactly. Yeah. That song was specifically written
about the inevitable.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've discounted malevolent figures, because it's not going to be a favourable portrayal.
No. Yeah.
But is it up to a person how they portrayed as well? We would say no, I guess, right? You don't want Queen producing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You don't want Queen. That is to say, you don't want what happened with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Where they throw out the film that's already there so they can replace it with this bullshit fantasy. But you do want a film that is accurate to be made.
Yes.
Whereas, it's not like, we want to replace it with something better. It's like, I don't want this... I suppose they're the same thing. I don't want this accurate portrayal portrayed.
It's a push-pull thing. I think we want the real person to have kind of signed off on it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you saw... Was Elton John a producer of Rocket Man?
I think so, yeah.
Doesn't that make you suspicious?
Yes.
I don't want him involved in
like Disney making...
In fact, no, he must have been involved because he obviously did this... He helped with the song and stuff.
Yeah, he gave it his... okay, but I don't know whether he actually produced it or not. It's a weird thing, isn't it?
I think he did.
I feel like... I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. There isn't really a blanket answer, isn't there? Because it depends on the intention of the filmmakers. If their intention is to slander you, then obviously they have no right to do that. But if they want to portray you accurately and you want something more...
charitable.
Put in its place, then you're in the wrong there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
What if you're a bastard...
Yeah.
and the film wants to portray you in a good light? So
the film is in the wrong.
It is,
but
it's not because of your influence. The film is doing that independent of you.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to stop it then, would you?
Would you, personally? If they were making a film about you,
and
it's this hagiography, would you go, nah, that's just not...
No, I'm a bastard. You shouldn't misrepresent me like that. People might get the wrong idea.
I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want some silver lining portrayal of me in my life. I'd want the real thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Food for thought.
Okay.
I watched a film called... what was it called? Misbehavior.
Okay.
And it's about these radical feminists in the 70s.
You're on a roll with these, aren't you, Sam? Disclosure, misbehavior.
This is the thing. I kind of want to bring... This is a plate
they've all got wanky names, let's be fair.
Yeah. 70s feminists who disrupted the Miss World pageant.
Okay.
By like throwing flower bombs and stuff like that.
Right.
It's one of those... It's a feel-good British film, like Pride.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, it's one of those...
Is it on their site?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we on their site?
Yeah. The feminists are the central characters.
No. I mean, we, as in, like, people, generally speaking, are they on the side of these feminists?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's a stuffy institution. It's one of those films.
Right.
Stuffy institution mixed with, like, it's women, being judged on their aesthetic qualities.
See. Okay.
I'm like, they decided to be in it. Who are you to...
Okay.
Which I actually agree with, to be fair. No one coerced the Miss World contestants to do it. They're entering of their own free will.
Yeah.
If they want to be judged on
it's not like
it's up to them.
It's not like human trafficking where they probably didn't have a choice in the matter.
Exactly.
This is like it's a competition you could enter if you want.
But their overall point is like they try and balance it. Like there's I think it's Miss Garner has a conversation with like the lead character at the end of the film, and she's black, and I think she wins or comes close to it at least.
Okay.
And she says, well, it makes people who look like me. It gives us validation. Okay. Little black girls seeing me in the spotlight makes them think that they could be something. She's like, but we shouldn't be. They tried to balance it, not very well. They clearly they hate all that sort of thing. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it, like, personally. I hate all that shit as well. But at the same time, if you want to do it, if there's a market for it,
I see. Yeah, I see.
But the only reason I want to bring it up is they talk about the patriarchy, obviously, in this film.
Naturally.
And at the end of the film, it does the typical coda of this character went on to become this. Yeah. This character went... and the last thing that the film says is attempts to bring down the patriarchy remain ongoing.
Right, okay.
It's like, okay, we just accept that then, are we? We're just going to accept that. And that sort of ties into a broader thing that I want to talk about. But I want to talk about another film first.
Okay.
A film called St. Francis, which is a film about a woman who has an abortion. Mm-hmm. And she's a nanny. And she befriends her and the kid she's looking after, strike up a friendship.
Right.
And the kid teaches her about life and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There is a moment in this film. So she has sex with her boyfriend. She gets pregnant and she has an abortion. She doesn't struggle with it. Like, she just does it. He doesn't struggle with it. He's okay with it. He's like, yeah, go ahead. She has the abortion. Has like the after effects, the unpleasant after effects. There's no tension there. Mm. Yes, right. So there's a scene in this film where she's over the house of the family whose kid she looks after, and there's another mother there with her kid, and the mother's quite snooty, one of those like stay-at-home privileged mothers who has a rich husband and that sort of thing. And she asks the nanny to go and get something from her house, even though she doesn't work for her, to get carrots for her little boy to eat, because he'll only eat carrots or something. So they go over to this house, and on the fridge there's a sticker that says "Unborn Lives Matter." Mm-hmm. This kind of earlier in the film, outside the house of the family, is a sign saying "Black Lives Matter," and then this comes up later in the film. And the little girl, when they're in this house, just walks off, and the nanny's like, "Where are you going?" It's like, "I'm going to break some of this kid's toys," and she goes, "Yeah, okay." The thing being, because they're such a privileged family, they can do with a few toys being broken.
Okay.
So the little girl goes off to break the toys, and then this woman sees the sticker on the fridge, gets the carrots out, puts it on the side, and then the dog comes and eats all the like licking the carrots and eating them. And then they look at it and go, "Oh no." Then it cuts to them back at the house, and the little boy's eating the carrots the dog was licking.
Right.
And they're like giggling with each other, like,
okay.
And you're meant to be totally cool and on board with this because they're such a privileged family. I was watching it like, who the fuck are you? So someone's done well, right? And they've got a nice house, so it's okay to go break their shit.
Yeah.
And the kid hasn't done anything. He's a bit of like, he's an obnoxious kid.
I mean, he was born into wealth, he's a cunt.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I just kind of think, the fact you're just supposed to accept it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so the boyfriend, after she has this abortion, he has feelings about it, right? And he starts writing them down. He's like, I'm obviously cool with it, but I have feelings about it. And he starts reading from this journal, and she's like, well, why the fuck are you doing this? So I just want you to know that if you have feelings, then that's okay. And that's like an undercurrent through the film, right?
Okay.
The big resolution of the film, bear in mind, it starts off being about a woman who has an abortion as a feminist, and like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And everyone around her thinks the same thing. The resolution is that, yeah, that's correct.
Right.
There's no change.
Okay.
I'm not saying I wanted like a anti-abortion, pro-life thing.
Yeah.
But there's zero.
But it doesn't go.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Is that does that make it propaganda?
Yes.
The fact that nothing changes. Yeah. I was thinking.
It does.
Yeah. As you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably a good way, because we were talking about disclosure on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about disclosure on the last podcast, and you deemed that propaganda.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably like a decent way of identifying what propaganda is.
Increasingly. And this is sort of the thing I wanted to talk about. But the big resolution of this film is she phones her boyfriend and leaves a message saying, I do have feelings. These are my feelings. And I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically, yeah, what I did is okay. It's a bundle of cells, and I'm pissed off that people think it's not.
Right.
People tell me it's a baby, and I have done nothing wrong.
Okay.
And there's a scene with her in a church. She's in a church with a little girl that's kind of wandering around this church, and they go in the confession box, and the little girl like acts as a priest and says, "What are your sins?" And she says something like, "Oh, I feel bad about myself for X, Y, Z." She's like, "Okay, but I'm proud of you." "Yeah, why are you proud of me?" "Because you keep, even though you're scared, you keep trying." And then she says, "Have you committed any other sins?" And there's ironically, a pregnant pause where you're thinking about the abortion, and she goes, "No, I haven't done any. I haven't committed no other sin." Right. So it's the film saying it's not a sin.
It's not a sin. Yeah. At that moment, they should have recreated the train spotting scene with the babies on the top of the confessional booth and just crawling towards her.
It's pro-abortion propaganda. Is what it is.
Right.
Have you seen Kanye West's rally?
No, I haven't, but I will get around to it.
Okay.
He cries over.
Yeah, he cries.
Yeah.
Mate. Honestly, like,
What's he crying about?
because like he nearly aborted his child, and
he cries over abortion, right?
yeah. But basically, when him and Kim Kardashian were having their first child, they were umming and ahhing over whether to keep it. He didn't really want the kid, and in the end, she was like, "No, we're keeping the kid."
Okay.
And he went, "Yeah, we're keeping the kid." But he ends up crying about this like whole thing, and he's like, "Well."
He's crying because of how much he loves his daughter.
But yeah, and he kind of just goes, well, I mean, even if Kim divorced me for fucking whatever, I would still be at peace because she brought North into the world.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I think that's quite a traditional narrative. I think a lot of people who end up having the child
don't regret it.
Would not regret it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to, the point that you brought up, George, which is that film knew how it was going to end before she started writing.
Yeah.
The ending was probably the first thing that she...
Yes.
The point is going to be that it's cool.
Yeah.
And I can't start by not thinking it's cool, because then I'm not a feminist. So I've got to think it's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe struggle halfway a little bit with it.
Yeah, because I mean, you can still have films that like, okay, the film ends with, oh, abortion is cool.
Right.
That's still pro-abortion.
Yes.
But if you start the film with like, oh, I'm against the idea of abortion.
Yeah.
Then that is a story. That is a film.
Yeah.
That is a piece of art that can exist on its own. It has a point and it has a message and it has opinions.
Yeah.
As art typically does. But it is art.
Yeah.
But if it's just so we're gonna start saying this is bad and we're gonna end saying this is bad. It's like, well, that's not
art. It's a political
art.
message.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be too prescriptive, because art comes in all shapes and sizes. But art is you figuring out what it is as it happens.
Yeah.
So like, I'm writing something at the moment, and we pretty much had the whole thing figured out except the very ending. We didn't know how it ended.
No.
And recently, like, it hit me how it ended. Like, oh, of course. And the beauty of the ending is that it ties back with all these things that happened previously. You shouldn't know it, I don't think, before.
Yeah.
You should arrive at that place.
Yeah.
This is a trend. This is a growing trend of films that are just propaganda for a certain ideology, and I'm worried about it.
Okay.
So, Modern Family has recently finished.
Was that propaganda?
No.
Okay.
But that's recently finished. And I think with it, the death of the traditional American sitcom. I think things like Cheers, Friends, and The Office, we're never going to get those kinds of shows again because of streaming, for one. because we like fewer episodes now. We don't like the 22 episode thing. But that idea of you all sit down and hang out with your friends every week, I think is over.
Oh, I would say that was over a while ago.
But I think that
like some family units still do that, but beyond that, like there's nobody.
But like Game of Thrones, everyone sat down to watch that. There were still a couple of shows that people did that to. But I think that the death of Modern Family is a good emblem, a good sign.
I'm trying to think of film like shows coming out that could get people
fill that role. Oh no, I think that is done because everyone's got Netflix in their own rooms.
Yeah,
I think that is over.
Yeah, because I mean, I only watch TV with my housemate when I'm watching the football.
Yeah,
or occasionally if me and my housemate are both watching Gordon Ramsay at the same time.
Yeah,
because we're both watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah,
but it's at the point like the best shows. Some people haven't heard of them. I'm talking about people who like TV, obviously. It's also fragmented and diffuse. You know what I mean? There's no hegemony. There's no half anymore. Anyway, the point I want to make is we are often told that it's the golden age of television, right?
Yeah.
I think that's over now. You and I have had this conversation off air.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it started with The Sopranos. I don't think Modern Family was golden television, but I think that ending is
the end.
Is the end of the golden age.
It's not a bad run. The Sopranos to Modern Family.
It's not.
A lot of good stuff happened in between.
It's just what it's been replaced by.
I suppose.
Abundance and wokeness.
Yeah.
So, a good sign of this is, Law and Order, obviously, like, long-standing franchise. Their new show coming up is Law and Order Hate Crimes.
Ah, right, okay.
So I'm coining a term. It's not quite a Sam's Lexicorner.
Okay.
For the age of entertainment.
Do I play, like, half the theme song?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, do. And then just leave it there.
Yeah. I think we're living in the copper age.
Yeah, well, we talked about
this.
Yeah, because I said it felt very much like we had now entered the woke age, and he said the copper age, which, yeah.
Yeah, the copper, and what I mean by that is it seems precious, but it's plentiful, and it oxidizes on contact with air.
Okay.
And so, right, so like, there's so many shows, and they seem sound, but I think because they are politically and ideologically motivated, they will not stand the test of time.
Okay.
And they rust quickly. So I think the copper age.
Do you have a couple of quick examples you can throw our way? Of
I May Destroy You.
Okay.
Would be a good example.
Yeah, well,
it's interesting because like just before we started recording, I saw like a thing on Facebook. It's like 5 reasons to watch the show that everyone is talking about.
Right.
And it was I May Destroy You.
Yeah, but the thing, everyone is talking about it. So this comes from a conversation that I asked him. Someone we know recommended it to me.
Yeah.
And I was convinced that Sam had said it wasn't something. So it either wasn't good or it wasn't something we'd enjoy.
Yeah.
So I asked him about it, and he sort of gave me his thing, and I was like, right, do you know what? I'm going to watch something anyway, and just see how far I get. And I got to 5 minutes into episode 4, decided I was done, did not need to watch the rest of it because I knew exactly what the show was doing. It is a tick box drama, comedy drama.
Yeah, it bills itself as a comedy. I'd like to know where the laughs are.
Yeah,
genuinely. And I'm not just saying it's not a funny comedy. It's about rape and like her dealing with the ramifications of that.
But she also just so happens to be black, kind of famous because
she's a writer.
Because but she's like was a Twitter famous turned writer.
Right.
That wrote a book that apparently everyone that's black likes, but no one that's white.
No one reads books. So that's bullshit.
But do you know what I mean? Like, her main friendship group is all black.
Yeah. A gay friend. Yeah. And then don't know what the other friend is. Straight, I guess.
Well, yeah, kind of.
I don't. What is the?
Because you've got the friend who's having the affair,
right? Okay.
And you've got that, and it's just bollocks.
It is.
Like there would be a not insignificant amount of white people who would read a book from a famous black, just because it's like you coined the term African American.
Yes,
the last one. Yes. They never get people. They never depict those, do they?
Never sing.
No.
But yeah, no. JD is the closest I think we've ever come.
Little Britain, there's that one sketch.
That one sketch from Little Britain. But yeah, so many like African Americans that would be.
But just think, if the book is like, because this book is that she's written is supposed to be well revered.
Yeah, it's
the only people that come up and ask her for a selfie in the street are black people. I'm like, right, okay.
I guess the idea is that she wrote this like book when she was young, and it was a massive success, especially in the black community. And the whole thing is, it's the difficult second book. She's had that breakout genius thing.
Yeah, difficult second book, which she puts off by going out on the absolute lash, taking shit tons of pills.
Yeah, I just hated it.
Without sounding, this will come off and sound really bad. How many times does she get raped by the end of it?
Well, only once.
No, but like, it's two people in the same night or whatever it is, isn't it? Technically,
I honestly can't remember.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
And then she accuses someone else of raping her because they were having
all the characters are raped in different ways.
Yeah, because they were having consensual sex and then he took a condom off.
Right.
And then she was like, no.
That's and then another the gay dude, a guy dry humps him.
Okay.
And he's like, I didn't want that. Is that rape? It shows. It's trying to like show all the various.
Yeah, and this thing, I understand what they're going for.
I understand
the thing but they've done it in such a tick box way.
It's not just that; it's obnoxious. Frankly, it's obnoxious. Like we are obviously all against rape.
Yeah,
and it's like her character is just so. She goes to the doctor at one point, and they're talking about the box she ticked in terms of like her ethnicity. And she's like, "But I'm not Caribbean. I'm this. I'm that. And the guy's like, okay, but these are the options. You know." I can't remember exactly what the specifics are of that scene, but this doctor is just like, "What ethnicity are you?" And she's like, "It doesn't contain the nuance of my," and just scolds this doctor. And you are meant to be on her side. Like, you're just obnoxious. You're unlikable. You're arrogant. You're a prick.
Yeah, but it's like it's like she goes to the place about sexual assault.
Yeah,
right. And then they call it sexual assault, and she's like, "Whoa, like, love, you went to the place for sexual assault because you knew you'd been raped."
Yeah,
like.
What's her objection to them calling it sexual assault?
Because they don't know that yet.
Because they don't know that yet.
Yeah. She's like, oh, it's like, don't know that yet. And it's like, right. Everything leading up until this point, yeah, they do. Like, there's enough evidence.
I genuinely can't remember what this example is. She goes to a support meeting for sexual assault.
No, so this is, she goes to the place, and then, so like the doctors and stuff like that, and they have
the sexual assault building where all the sexually assaulted people go.
It was just the phrase support for sexual assault. Yeah. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? It's like they provide.
Right, if you take it literally, I see what you're doing.
No, but she goes to a specific place.
Having trouble sexually assaulting people? Come pay us a visit. Yeah.
They go to a place for people who think they've been sexually assaulted.
Right.
They ask you a lot of questions, and then they can test whether you've been sexually assaulted.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how many places like that there are around here. There are in London.
Yeah. I don't know. There's going to be a few.
Yeah, there'll be some around. But you would only go to those kind of places if you kind of were like, oh, okay.
Had you been sexually assaulted?
Yeah. Yes. And then they say it, and she's like, whoa.
Don't presume, sort of thing.
Don't presume I've been sexually assaulted. It's like, why are you here?
Yeah, that's just, it's a lot of that. Like, why would you assume this? Like, because that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, but like, she writes the end of the first draft of that book.
Yeah.
Under the shit ton of drugs she's already taken and the date rape drug. And then they're like talking about how the book's really abstract. Why are you arguing this, right? You wrote this under a shit ton of drugs. It was never going to make sense.
It's the peak, I think, that I've seen of like that sort of programming.
Okay.
But yeah, that would be an example.
Yeah.
And I just you compare it to the golden age of television. So I've been rewatching The West Wing. Because I've been craving some of that dialogue.
Yeah.
I watched a West Wing reunion that was, I think, 2016 or 2017. And it's got most of the cast there. They're talking about the legacy of the show. And Bradley Whitford, at one point, Aaron Sorkin says, I don't think anyone who voted for Donald Trump watched The West Wing.
Okay.
I was like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so divisive.
Yeah.
There are smart people who voted for Donald Trump. There are smart people that... No, I don't want to talk about politics. But you know what I mean? There are obviously people that watch The West Wing and vote for Donald Trump. Maybe there's not a massive overlap.
No.
But those people exist.
Well,
there are people that don't agree with the politics of The West Wing, but like how it's written.
I was going to say the Wasp Wing. The Wasp Wing? The Wasp Wing. Where all the wasps are.
It is quite waspy, actually. There's only one black guy.
Oh,
Go on.
Oh, yeah. Thingy.
Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah, the West Wing isn't shy about its politics, is it?
No, they called it the left wing.
Yeah, exactly.
But you just look back at it now and you watch some of the episodes and you compare it to the politics of now. Like there's an episode where this guy writes a book about reparations, and the civil rights dude gives has a quote on the cover, and he's called into the office to talk about it, to discuss his position on it. And the big resolution of that is it just can't be done. And like no amount
reparations.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
No amount of money can cleanse America of that. That it's not a financial fiduciary thing. It's sensible.
Yeah.
They have a good conversation about it. And Josh, it's a liberal White House, bear in mind. He's like, and who's going to pay for this? Where are we going to pull this money from? And then it gets into like Nazism and how, that sort of thing. And then there's another episode where there's a shooting in the show and the the Southern Poverty Law Center, wants a character who was shot to sue the Ku Klux Klan, the guys who did it.
Yeah.
And they talk about instantiating a law that would arrest all these people.
Okay.
Everyone who wore a hood and was part of this chapter. And again, there's one character who's like, what's wrong with arresting all the people in white hoods? Fuck them. And every other character's like, I know why you feel that way, but you can't do it. This is America. You can't do it. Imagine that now.
Yeah.
And that episode ends with, it's a typical Sorkin clunky setup line. But they're on the step and Josh says, what do you say about a country that even protects the citizens that want to destroy it? And then every other character says, God bless America.
Right.
That's the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the country we live in, where even the people who spew hate, it's their right. Imagine that now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good comparison. I may destroy you next to
The West
Wing.
Right.
Which is a hard left-wing show.
Yeah.
I want to bring up one more thing from that West Wing reunion.
Okay.
At one point, it's kind of an echo chamber, and Bradley Whitford talks the most and a lot.
Yes.
And he says to the interviewer, I think the one thing that the West Wing, was unrealistic about is that it depicted Republicans as rational. And he's saying it to get like a laugh and a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And then to be fair, Dooley Hale, who played Charlie, says, I don't think that's right. He says, what? He says, they're irrational Republicans. You might not agree with them, but they're irrational Republicans. And I was like, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that ever. In interviews, they all just like go, yeah, and pat each other on the back.
Yeah.
And he actually went, no, you're wrong. And then he backtracks, says, I do think they're irrational Republicans, but I think the fact that Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But he completely, because he thought he was going to get like that cool line in, and they were going to go, oh yeah, high-five him.
Exactly.
And then a dude went, no. And he had to go, oh, okay, yeah, I suppose they're all
How dare
rational.
he slag off Ainsley?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking Ainsley Hayes. I just got to that point in the show, actually.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay. You wanted to talk about Greyhound a little bit.
Yes, because we both watched it.
We did.
So it was like, oh, okay. Because we both watched it independently. The plan wasn't, let's watch Greyhound.
No.
What do you think of Greyhound? Well, what is Greyhound?
Greyhound is a Tom Hanks warship drama thriller film.
Is it his screenwriting debut?
No.
It's not.
No. He's written things before.
What's he written?
I think he wrote his own film, That Thing You Do.
Okay.
Larry Crown, I think he wrote as well. He's written.
Okay. It's fine, Eddie. You don't have to...
No, this is just out of curiosity. I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
He wrote it. He didn't direct it. He has directed before as well. It's rubbish.
Oh, you think it's rubbish?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you like it?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't, oh, what a great film. But I was engaged when it was on.
Really?
Yeah.
I just thought it was way too shallow.
Okay.
It's just they go to bed, they wake up, there's another fucking fight with a ship.
It is funny. There's the structure of the film is basically that the ship that they're on, the Greyhound, is spearheading this like fleet that's going from Britain to America or America to Britain, or
I don't know.
They're in the Pacific Ocean anyway, or Arctic Ocean, one of the oceans.
They're in an ocean.
They're in an ocean, one of the big ones.
Yes.
And they're surrounded by German submarines, and that is the film. It's them destroying these German submarines while the German submarines are destroying them. And we picked up on a pattern where the messman, the masseuse, the chef, they're called the mess people.
Right. I don't know if they're called a messman. Okay. But yeah, they work in the mess.
Yeah, they work in the mess. Because Tom Hanks is not resting because of the sheer like assault that these Germans are bombarding them with. The guy, Tom Hanks isn't eating and he isn't going to bed. So the messman will bring Tom Hanks like a sandwich.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're not eating, you should eat."
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks is like, "Oh, thank you." And as he goes to eat the sandwich, the Germans attack again.
Yes.
And it's like 5 times where he's brought a plate of food and the Germans immediately attack.
Yeah.
I just wanted the film to end with him finally eating a sandwich. I thought that's what it was. And I don't know whether that's because that's just a screenwriting impulse. And I don't know if Tom Hanks considers himself a screenwriter. Obviously, he has screenwritten. But I feel like a writer, if they'd done it that many times, a writer would instinctively go, okay, that's the payoff.
I've got to pay that off.
Yeah, he finally eats his sandwich. But he doesn't. The film ends with him just going to bed.
Yeah, you couldn't... That's the thing. as an idea, as a concept, may be good.
Yeah.
But is the film's going to end with them eating a sandwich?
Yeah.
Like you've got to.
But you've got the typical wartime music where it's like.
Everybody's just eating a
it's just
sandwich.
like heroic and.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
It's
carries
funny,
you
innit?
through it.
It's just comical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but it's probably like we're just gonna watch Tom Hanks eat a sandwich. You've got to be really good to pull that off.
Yeah.
And to have it land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going to bed seems more.
Yeah, it's more like, you know. But that's the thing. They it's two things. It's the fact that he's not eating.
Yeah.
And because he's standing up for 2 days, basically, his feet start bleeding.
Yeah.
So like, one of those is going to pay it off. Like he's either going to bandage his feet or eat his sandwich. But he doesn't. He just goes to bed.
Yeah.
So neither gets paid off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I just, it's disposable, isn't it?
It is disposable. I mean, yeah, it's a shallow film.
Yeah.
Ironically, given that they're in the ocean. But I don't know. I think there's something uniquely compelling about films like this. Films where there's no like
point.
No,
Or
there's
theme or
no.
depth.
It's like a specific. It's a specific type of film. I don't know if there's a name for it.
Like where it's basically one hyper thing played out.
Yeah, I'm going to call them. I'm going to call it a crisis thriller
Okay.
because there's no.
Phone booth.
Yeah, there's no plot.
Yeah.
And there are no characters.
Yeah.
There is a crisis.
Yes.
And there are people dealing with that crisis. That is the film.
So, is a crisis thriller demarcated from similar thrillers that have characters and depth?
Well,
Because Phone Booth is not the best film in the world,
no.
but it does have character.
Well, I wasn't thinking Phone Booth as much as I was thinking like Shin Godzilla or
Right.
like Contagion, because that's cropped up recently.
Right.
With with the coronavirus
Yes.
and whatnot. I think maybe 1993 fits in there as well.
Just like a snowball.
Yeah,
Shit keeps going wrong.
it's about like there's this one event that's happening, and it's sort of about the mechanics and the bureaucracy
Okay.
behind solving that crisis.
So I guess every thriller is that to some extent, but I know what you mean, where it's like streamlined.
Yeah, it's the literal like play by play of what's happening.
Gravity.
That's what's pulling you through the film.
Gravity.
Yeah, gravity. It's not it's not the characters, because no one's characterized in this film.
No, that's
Tom Hanks is just Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
He's the typical warm Tom Hanks we've come to know.
Yeah.
Stephen Graham's in it, doing a accent.
He's doing the
like some accent. I wasn't quite able to
he's just
tell.
doing his Capone Irishman. He's just doing an Italian American. He's just doing that again.
Okay.
I do want to see him experiment. Thing is, his Liverpudlian accent, it lends itself well to doing an Italian American because they're weirdly similar if you listen. I want to hear him just do an American accent.
Okay.
Rather than doing that fucking thing.
Yeah.
But he's just doing that.
He's just doing that, yeah. And there's like a couple of other people who are in the film, but they're not really, you know. There's like a guy who looks like a child.
Yeah.
And he like sneezes at one point, so he's not able to give the command straight away. And he gets like chastised for it.
Yeah.
The chef that keeps bringing Tom Hanks his food, he dies at one point in an attack.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, these aren't people.
No.
Well, no, they are. They are people. They're not characters.
Yes, I wonder whether there was a draft of the original draft was a lot more charactery, and then when they made the film, it was like, fuck it, let's just turn it into this. Like,
Yeah, it is just the play-by-play.
I think Captain Phillips, the screenplay for that is like not at all what the film ended up being.
Oh, right.
It's
okay.
a very like you'd imagine it being filmed quite conventionally.
Was that Soderbergh?
Paul Greengrass?
Paul Greengrass. Sorry,
Yeah.
For some reason I get those two mixed up. I don't know why.
Dare you?
They're not the easiest people to mix up. Oh, but it's Greengrass, so it's kind of that like cinema verite,
Handheld,
false
yes.
documentary feel.
Yeah, but it was more traditional screenplay setup of like it's at home and there's characters with kids, and whereas it became a lot more naturalistic.
Yeah.
In the end thing.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now. So I do wonder whether there was a draft of the script where it was like a 2.5 hour war epic.
Yeah, because it's hour and a half.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Yeah, it's really really quick.
Yeah. That was a blessing.
Yeah, there's no
To be
chaff.
fair, I've looked it up and it does say its main praise came from the fact that it utilised its 90-minute runtime.
It's timed well.
Yeah, because it's basically Act 1 is like 10 minutes long, and then the rest of the film is Act 3, basically.
Pretty much.
There's nothing in between it.
And it's kind of samey. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not enough variation in the battles. What do you call a sea battle? The dogfight is a
dogfight is
aerial.
air battle. There's a specific
must be,
term for like ground battles, right?
I don't know.
It's not a skirmish. That's just another word for battle.
Yeah.
But like Fury, that's like tank battles. I
Right.
don't know if there's like a specific name they use in that for it.
Yeah.
I hear Eddie's keyboard clicking away there. I guess Eddie's gonna
A naval battle.
Just a naval battle.
Okay.
Shit, isn't it? Well, a cat fight is like women, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is a dog fight planes? What's that about?
Well, they're trying to imply
Yeah, I don't.
because planes are women, right? Ships are women.
All vehicles are women.
All vehicles
Yeah.
are women. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be a cat
It
fight.
should be a catfight, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite capture, though, the maritime epicness of it all, does it?
No.
A hull fight.
Maybe because dog fights, a dog fight is more brutal than a
Yeah.
cat fight.
Well, naval battles are, I guess, equally brutal, but they're less wieldy. It's like a dog fight is like small planes and they're darting around. This is like massive things that it takes 20 minutes to turn a corner. You know?
Yeah, oh, it's more.
You know.
There's more spectacle as well in a plane fight, isn't there?
Yes.
Like if they hit the plane will explode, fall out of the air, hit the ground, and explode again. If you like sink a ship, you got to wait 20 minutes before it like starts going down. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a yalla fight because if a dog fights like a little yappy dog's running around.
Yeah.
This is like an old dog that is
Like an old yalla, right?
Yeah,
okay.
so it's a yalla fight.
It's a yellow fight. Is that a Sam? We've had like two potential Sam's Lexicorners.
That's not even no. And I think the one that's going to be a Sam's Lexicorner is the worst.
Oh. Okay. I do I recommend it? Obviously, you don't recommend it.
I don't.
It's very well. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, it's a very shallow film, but it's also I don't know.
Simple.
Yeah, it's simple. I was engaged when I watched it. I have no compulsion to go back to it.
Yeah.
But I'm completely fine with its existence.
Oh yeah, I don't like.
And I don't feel like it wasted my time.
I do think that.
Oh, I do.
I don't loathe it, but I do think I got nothing out of it. I got absolutely nothing out of it.
Okay.
There's zero depth, and we're not just being snarky.
No.
It's just fights. The film is just fights.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough variation in it for me, and a lot of it's CGI, and that puts me off with that.
Yeah, the CG isn't great, but also it's Apple TV, right?
It is. I know it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to do that stuff. But, you know what I mean? It's like, well, you can do anything with CG now.
Yeah.
So it's not impressive. If you're in the market for that, then I guess watch it. Okay, should we talk about a better film?
Well, what is this better film?
The Vast of Night.
Oh, that is a better film.
Yes.
So much better.
What
I haven't even seen Greyhound.
Eddie, you take the lead on this, because we've been gabbing.
Oh, so what do you want to know?
What you thought of it? What it is.
What the film is.
Your review.
We're like 27 episodes in now, Eddie. We thought we could take your training wheels off a bit here.
Oh, is this up to 27?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay.
That's where the podcast crashes and dies.
That's where it dies, yeah.
No, I mean, it's my third favourite film of the year.
Okay.
Behind.
Well, I do the same thing Sam does. So my first two are Parasite, then The Lighthouse.
Oh, you go on UK release.
As they are mine. So yeah, identical.
Oh, there you go.
It's basically a film set in a fictional town in New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's based off of it's loosely based off the Kecksburg US UFO incident and Foss Lake, and it involves someone who picks up interference on a radio thing.
Yeah.
Like on a radio transmission, and then they try and figure out what it is, and then aliens.
Yeah, it's just about
Way to spoil the film, Eddie.
it's one night. You know, it's
almost real time, isn't it?
Basically,
it's basically real time. Yeah.
It might be real time. I think the only thing that discourages me from saying that wholeheartedly is it's not a one shot film. You know,
no, there are plenty of one shots.
There
in
are.
It. I would say the first 40 minutes is definitely real time.
I think it all is, because even when they drive to the woman's house, it's like the idea is that it's so small that you just it's over there.
Yeah.
You know?
But when it gets to the second half of the film, there's a lot more cutting.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Maybe.
So you lose a bit. Whereas in the beginning, it's mostly one takes. You know exactly how long this is taking. Yeah. You lose a bit of that in the second half.
Yeah, you're kind of talking mere minutes, really.
Oh yeah, if that.
Yes. So it's these two characters. One is a DJ.
Yeah.
One's a radio jock.
One's a radio DJ, and one works as a switchboard operator. But they're both young.
They're both very young. Yeah.
Yeah. She's 16. He's 18.
Yeah, 19, something like that. Yeah, it's nothing really happened. I mean, they hear this transmission, and then they kind of put it out over the airwaves, like, if anyone knows what this is, get in touch. A guy gets in touch, clarifies what it might be.
Yeah.
They investigate further. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to say anything spoilery about this one.
Well, he's already given away the ending.
We said aliens.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
No.
Yeah, okay. Look, that needn't have been a spoiler because it's obviously about aliens.
Yeah.
You've now confirmed that he spoiled the ending.
No, he spoiled it first.
We didn't.
But I'd like to point out, Aliens doesn't technically spoil anything about the film because the poster shows you the light beaming down.
Yeah.
So if you see anything, if you see the trailer and you see the poster, you will know this film is to do with aliens.
Well, here's a question: did either of you, at any point doubt this was the work of aliens.
No.
Is that the film's intention, do you think?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say, if that is the film's intention, is that it's trying to like build some ambiguity before the reveal, then it fails. I never doubted it.
No, I don't. I think it's trying to build up a sense of dread. Not dread, but anticipation of, ooh, okay, I think it's definitely this, but when's it going to come?
Yeah.
Suspense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there's one thing I want to spoil. I don't know how much it spoils.
Well, we've spoiled it now.
Well, no, but
we'll sort of say it to us in as vague terms as you can, and we'll say whether it's worth talking about.
It's about the guy that phones.
Yeah, I think that's okay, because I want to talk about that.
Okay, right. So the guy that phones...
Billy.
Yeah.
Billy.
Is black.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that plays off on the idea...
It's set in the 50s as well.
Yeah, it's set in the, set in the 50s. And that plays on the idea that when there were possible UFO sightings in America or landings, that they would send out people who were Mexican or black, because if you weren't going to believe anyone at that time...
It would be minorities, yeah.
So therefore...
That's why they sent them out.
That's why they sent
That's what made me love the film. That idea. That's a cool idea. I've never heard that idea before.
I think it's based off of the idea.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a genuine
or if
not UFOs, just some dangerous terrain.
They send out
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah,
I'm not going to repeat the joke.
Yeah,
but if you've seen Blazing Saddles, you know what the joke is. Yes, but that idea, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's got an absolute nothing cast. I don't
know anybody.
We don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Because the film starts in a gymnasium.
Yeah.
And at one point, a teacher comes over to talk to Everett.
I can't remember.
I think I just did the thing, because one of the first scenes is characters confusing for someone else.
It is Everett,
and that's exactly what I did.
Okay.
But yeah, the teacher walks over, and for a split second I thought it was Kathy Bates, and I got really excited, and then I was like, oh, it's not Kathy Bates.
No, but it'd be weird if there was any star in it.
She's. I just watched the trailer. She's in something.
Yeah,
she is an actress. She tends to be.
No. But I've just watched the trailer that she was in.
Oh, okay. It's is it a first time filmmaker?
It might be.
Yeah. Because it's impressive if it is.
If not first, then second.
Yeah, because it's a tiny film and it's clearly a low budget film.
Incredibly pared down.
But it's a very confident film.
It is. Not cocky.
No, not cocky.
We talked about how there were plenty of one-shots and how much we generally hate those.
Yeah.
Not in this film.
No. I can't imagine the film being shot conventionally.
No.
Now that having seen those one shots, I can't imagine like a lazy version of that.
There's that sequence where we go back to the school and we just the camera travels through the whole town basically.
Yeah, there are no characters on screen. It is literally just the camera goes from one location to another.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Never cut away.
And the thing is, you could say, that's gimmicky, but no, it has a point. The point being that the town is this small that you can just nip over.
Yeah,
the camera can just nip over to the school. The girl operating the switchboard.
I think that's my favourite scene in the film.
That's impressive.
Yes,
as she's just trying to. Yeah,
because you're watching it, and the idea is that she's operating the switchboard like a switchboard operator does, and then she gets that staticky interference we find out is the work of greater beings. So she's just calling random people in the town. She's like, hey, are you okay? Have you heard anything? No? Okay. And then she calls up the guy on the radio. It's like, can you listen to this for me? She calls up the switchboard operator that she took over from. Can you tell me what's going on?
Mm-hmm. And the lines keep going dead.
And the lines keep going dead and all this stuff's happening. I think that shot's about 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Of
her just switching the switchboard around and talking to people and listening.
Yeah.
Basically.
There's a lot of listening.
Yeah.
A lot of listening. That monologue over the black soldier that's just over the phone. You just hear him.
There's long portions of that conversation where the screen just goes black. There isn't even anything on screen.
Yeah.
You're literally just listening to him.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yes. It is Andrew Pattinson's first.
It is his first film.
Yeah.
He also wrote it, but under a pseudonym.
Yes, yeah.
And produced it under the same pseudonym.
Okay.
I've been thinking a lot about, I'm not sure I talked about this on the last podcast, filmed monologues.
Yeah.
I love characters telling stories on film. And there's that elderly lady who tells a story about her kid.
Yeah.
And he is just listening to her. Nothing happens in that. It's to her telling the story.
Yeah, we barely see any reactions from him.
I think once
the camera
at the end
is just pointed at her.
Yeah.
Slowly moving in as the story is being told.
I just loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I love that kind of aesthetic as well. I love 50s America, especially New Mexico, Roswell.
Yeah.
Sort of something foreboding is coming. It played right into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go expecting a sci-fi action film.
Well, that's one thing to talk about. It is reviewed either really well or really poorly. And that is because...
Is it the trailer?
I think it's a trailer because it makes it look more like a sci-fi action film.
I get that. Like, they had Drive, we've talked about before, they tried to sell that as like a Fast and Furious style film. I get the impulse. It is a bit shitty.
Plus, how do you market a film which is just people listening?
Yeah, yeah.
On a podcast.
You market it. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know they've got to, they've got to balance it all out and they've got to recoup their money and everything. But I get you market it to people like us, as snotty as that sounds. Market it saying this is a film, it's a low key drama about this. You don't know how, but they have to draw in as big a crowd as they can. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess that's capitalism. You've got to do that a bit.
But we're talking about the last podcast. We talked about the next time teasers for the final 2 episodes of Series 8 of Doctor Who, which completely misrepresented those episodes.
Yeah.
Despite not using footage that didn't exist in those episodes, it cut them together in a way that completely changed the context.
It's the editing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know, like, because they misadvertised a plot point, right? About Clara.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I think if you're using stuff from the film, but you're putting it together in a way to suggest it's more action-packed than it is.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with that, as long as you don't missell.
But that's what trailers are, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're like, I was thinking of Dishonored, which is a video game that came out like ages ago.
Yeah.
But that the thrust of that game is that you can take a stealthy approach, or you can kill everyone in sight, and the game sort of like accommodates for which path you take. But the trailers only show the killing; they don't show the stealth, because how do you advertise someone sneaking in a bush in a way that's exciting?
Yes.
Well, I'll say it's like when we did Disillusioned. I wanted to do a trailer for that, but the trailer was just going to be you sat on a bench with John running.
Yes.
That's all I wanted.
Right.
Has Disillusion been brought up on Funfiltered before? Or is this going to be completely alien to people?
There's a short film on YouTube. It's called Disillusion. It's great.
That was made under a different company.
Yes.
We recommend The Last of Night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we recommend Disillusioned?
Yeah.
I don't not recommend it.
Okay.
You get to see Eddie act. So there's that.
You get to see you get to see my face act, not the rest of me. My face does all the work.
We don't really. Nothing is required of the rest of you, really.
No. But my face is just all expressions every 3 seconds.
Mine isn't.
Yeah. But you can do the acting thing. That's the point.
I can't act.
No. But you've got like the acting thing is being able to make your face not have expression.
I'm Brando then. So,
whereas mine does too much.
That man is expressionless. What an actor.
Gosling. I mean, he's got the looks to carry it. To be fair.
Yeah.
Is there an actor who's like does nothing and is an ugly fuck and you're like they're good? Is there? There must be one. I don't know. Okay, should we move on to Scoob? Eddie, you take the lead again because you're the Scoob acolyte. Acolyte of
where do I begin?
With the film?
Don't watch it. That's my recommendation.
Let's get to the point, and then there's that.
Yeah,
that's my recommendation. Honestly,
don't watch it. Yeah, it's insane.
I was not a fan. It's got bad writing. It's got lazy writing. It's got writing where it's trying to be smart, but it's not. It's a shared.
All the writing.
It's got a shared fucking universe.
Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Dick. You didn't like that? Dick. You didn't enjoy that?
They knew exactly what they were doing with that, didn't they?
That's the one sincere laugh the film got.
Yeah.
It's
Dick with a D.
It's got a Simon Cowell cameo that doesn't need to be there.
Right. What is it? 2005?
Yeah. What is it with Simon Cowell and kids films? Because you got Shrek 2. He was on the DVD special features.
But that's like 2004. That's fair enough.
Yeah, he was in Postman Pat, or a facsimile of him was in Postman Pat.
Okay.
I think he actually voiced the character.
Right.
And now he's in Scoob.
Yeah, I don't fucking get it.
Do kids
Like Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell?
Well, he's like a pantomime villain for kids, isn't he? Boo! Well, I'd say for adults as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was familiar with the X Factor when I was a kid, and he was he's a nasty judge. But I wasn't like a fan of Simon Cowell.
Yeah, it's weird to be a fan of a music producer.
He's just a weird guy to bring in.
Yeah. Well, they bring him in because he's Mr. Mean and he's splitting up the gang.
But there's someone else they could have got to do that, surely. That's more culturally relevant.
Yeah.
I'm sure Trump wouldn't have done it.
No, but fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like that. But in the scene in which he first appears, they're talking about the fact that what Mr. Ink's going to do next. I started talking about the fact taxes and stuff, and I'm like, it's a fucking kids film.
That's enough the adults though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think this is the main problem with Scoob is that it's Scoob. My mistake. Well, it's a very corporate film, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is to say, a corporation clearly thought of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's a shared universe thing. It's trying to do. It's making the same mistake as DC, where it's trying to do the Avengers and Iron Man in the same film. Like you had the DC shared universe that started with, you did Superman. Right now it's Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
We've got Scoob, but also you've got all of these people who are in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They changed...
Which is just as well, because this universe isn't going to continue past Scoob.
No.
Just get everything done in one film.
They changed the origin of how he gets his name.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that. Yeah, we saw that in the trailers. Oh yeah, do we talk about the history of Scoob on this podcast?
Could do.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
This is actually our third discussion of Scoob, but both prior discussions were cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine because this one's getting cut as well. So we'll just
oh, should we do that? Just it'll never be.
No. Yeah.
One day, people can sell the Scoob discussions on eBay at an extortionate price.
But yeah, they changed the name of how he gets it, how he gets his name, which
changed the name of how he gets his name.
So they changed how he.
I'm the way you said it. They changed the name the way they changed the name how he got his name.
Oh, just fuck off!
Why are you correcting him like that?
I picked up on it. I thought
All right,
don't be wrong not to point it out.
Because technically his name in the original thing is Scoobert Doobert.
Yes.
And in this it is Scooby Doo Doo.
Yeah.
And he gets his name because Shaggy sees a box of Scooby snacks, originally calls him Snacks.
Yeah.
And then goes, no.
Well, that's because it's a comedy, Eddie. You gotta have jokes.
No, there's nothing funny about this film.
There's two things funny about this film.
Dick is funny.
Dick is funny.
Dick.
Come on. We all love Dick, Eddie. Come on.
I'm clipping that. I'm clipping that.
Yeah, Dick is funny, and at the end, at the end when Scooby keeps eating the Scooby snacks that Daphne's trying to distract Cerberus with, and he just goes, "I am so weak." That's funny.
That's funny. That is funny.
I prefer that over the dick thing because the reason I don't like the line about it where he's saying dick is because they follow it up by making a joke about the F word.
Right.
And it's like, you're going to say dick for 10 minutes and then just be like, oh, we can't say the F word.
My policy is that any jokes aimed at adults in a kid's film have to be explainable to kids.
Yeah.
It's like the Tinder joke.
Yeah, there's a Netflix joke.
Why is there a Tinder joke?
There's a Tinder joke.
Yeah.
There's a point where there's are you not entertained?
It's just trying to be relevant. Again, Gladiator, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
A Gladiator reference.
Yeah,
I think there's one in Shrek, right?
Yeah.
Which is a year after.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
The double unmasking.
Yeah, I think the more Scooby-Doo talks, the creepier he is. I think when it's just when it's just that, it's fine. When he's like, I love it. He's speaking
give it to me, Shaggy.
He enunciates.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's supposed to be him just going.
Yeah.
And
just
noises. He barely talks, right? In the original series.
In the original one, yeah.
He's a dog. It is just noises, basically, unintelligible noises.
Yeah, occasionally you might say Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
That's it.
But a narcissist. But yeah, now he's just having chats. And it's weird.
Yeah, he is straight up talking.
Even when he's a kid, a puppy.
Yeah.
He's doing that.
And also, because of that, the fact that his speech impediment gets in the way. So they have to keep, changing what his speech impediment affects so that he can say lines.
Yeah.
So the whole dick joke is obviously predicated on the fact that he can't say dick. And yet he says D multiple times throughout the rest of the script.
Yeah.
So he's clearly just fucking with Dick dastardly.
I like Muttley. I always like Muttley.
Okay.
Just...
Yeah, but they make a joke about Muttley being chipped
What's wrong with that?
No.
You don't want Muttley being chipped. What's wrong with that?
Because you don't fucking need it in a kid's film.
It's not really like an adult joke, is it?
No, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure like most kids know that dogs get chipped.
Yeah, but why do you need it in the film? Why do you need
It's just an attempt at a joke. I'm not saying it's a good joke.
No, it's a shit joke. It's a shit film.
As a subject, I don't think it's like can't go near that.
No, honestly, it's a shit film.
It is a shit film.
It's a shit film. And I genuinely, and I said it to you before we got on the thing, but not before you got here, I hate it more than Cats.
Oh, wow, okay. Are you saying that as a fan of Scooby-Doo or as a lover of cinema?
Do you hate it more than Cats, or are you saying it's worse than Cats?
For me, it's both.
Okay, I can get hating it more than Cats. I don't understand saying it's worse than Cats.
This film is more, I guess, functional than Cats. Like, it's more...
it's sane. It's at least sane.
Yeah, it's sane. And it feels like things are working in the way that they're intended.
Yes.
Those things aren't good, but they're working as they're supposed to be working. Whereas Cats, it feels like things that are supposed to work are not working.
Scoob is shit, but it's legible. Cats is illegible mess.
Yeah.
Cats is, God, what am I watching?
Yeah.
But no, I honestly, I hated that much.
That's okay, fair enough. I mean, I did hate it. It was patience testing, even though it's not that long.
Yeah, it's just cynical as well, isn't it?
But
it's so hard to get behind a film like that.
But yeah, I will say I do think part of it comes from being a fan of the original series of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. I mean, Scoob is like not sold out because I haven't seen these films, so I don't know exactly how they sit. But he's done like, WrestleMania crossovers, and he's like Tom and Jerry in a sense, where they can sort of be paired up with anyone and do anything.
Yeah, I don't think Scooby-Doo can sell out, right? It was never like a protected property in the sense of how dare you include Scooby? It's like Doctor Who. No offense to it, it can't sell out really, can it? If Doctor Who's doing comic relief, fair.
But it would be like doing a Doctor Who movie where the Doctor teams up with a superhero, and it's just like a Marvel film. And the Doctor is the sidekick,
Okay.
It's this film doesn't really adhere to the Scooby-Doo formula.
No.
Because even though they've done WrestleMania crossovers and they've done episodes with Batman and shit, it's still a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
Batman is just a character in that story.
Yes.
Whereas in this Scooby-Doo film, the Scooby-Doo characters are characters in a superhero film.
Right.
It's not a Scooby-Doo film.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's another problem. Because this is the problem. They're selling it. Obviously, they want to pull in as many people as possible. But there's a lot of stuff in here that I feel like you need to be a Scooby-Doo fan to appreciate it.
Okay.
Not just that, but the fact that this is a superhero story. They're playing off the typical thing you expect from Scooby-Doo. This is like a change in the norm of Scooby-Doo. But as far as this film is concerned, this is the only Scooby-Doo that exists.
Yes.
So it's altering the norm without establishing a norm.
Yeah. Also, the new version of the Mystery Machine at the end of the film.
Oh, it's fucking hideous. Fucking hideous.
Like, when you see Scooby-Doo, the Mystery Machine and how it looks is part of it.
Yeah.
That is part of what it is. Right?
The
there is someone...
It's like changing the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Yeah. But in Cardiff, I can't remember where, but there is someone who owns a car that is modelled and made to look like a Mystery Machine.
Yeah.
And I just shat over that design.
And they just...
I laughed when Simon Cowell said, "Daphne, you're the people person of Mystery Inc." No, she fucking isn't.
Who Fred is, I guess, is he?
I guess, yeah. Fred is...
Fred's the tank, though, isn't he?
No, Fred is the leader.
Fuck off.
Fred is the leader, Velma is the smart one, Daphne is the woman.
Yes, pretty much.
No, she's the damsel.
She's the hot one.
She's the damsel.
Yeah, she's the damsel in distress, and she's the hot one. That's what Daphne is.
Yeah.
Maybe because Scooby-Doo is still going in multiple incarnations, so maybe there are more recent versions of Scooby-Doo that try to address the archetypes that those characters fulfill.
60% of that team is deeply unqualified.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Only for Velma. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And Fred, you could say, because it just is like the leader sort of thing.
Yeah.
The other three, what are they doing there? What's Shaggy and Scoob? What are they offering? They say at the end of the film what they offer.
You're the heart.
You're the heart of the team.
Yeah, you're the heart of the team.
They're not the heart of the team. Well, I guess they are, but...
Well, they're the ones... You watch Scooby-Doo for Scooby and Shaggy.
Yeah.
You put up with Fred, Velma and Daphne.
Yes.
Again, I'm speaking, my experience of Scooby-Doo basically ended after Cyber Chase, I think.
Right.
I've seen, I kind of feel like that's when it last was.
Yeah, I've seen fragments of bits of pieces since then, but in terms of Scooby-Doo media, yes.
I mean, in terms of your live action as a kid.
Oh yeah, they came out afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen those as well.
Yeah, as a kid, the first one is fine. Like, it's not
Right.
great, but as a kid, if you're a kid, the first Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
live action film is fine.
Yeah.
The second one is not. Right?
No.
But realistically, if you're going off animated versions of Scooby-Doo, I would say after Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, which came out in 2001,
Right.
that's
I'm completely uninitiated here. Like, I saw the 2 live action films when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I knew that Scooby-Doo was a cartoon and the Mystery Machine and all
Yeah.
that. But I've got no sense of what it is.
Okay.
Other than a cartoon. Do you know what I mean? I don't know the films, the TV show, how many episodes.
The gang, they go to a place.
Oh, yeah, I know.
There's
all
a
that.
monster.
Yeah.
They look for the monster.
Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy eat
Is he a
food.
heroin addict?
No, he's a weed.
He's a weed
weeder.
aficionado.
A weeder?
A pothead. A
pothead.
they're called.
Yeah, not a weeder.
Not a weeder.
Shaggy's just going around like weeding the garden. It's like, Shaggy, we're looking for a ghost.
We don't recommend. Scoob, then.
No, we absolutely don't recommend it. No, Jason Isaacs is fun.
He's having fun.
I was all over the place then, but yeah, there's a couple of people actually in this film where it's not entirely clear who the voice actor is. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said it was Jason Isaacs
No,
doing Dick Dastardly.
not at all.
I wouldn't have said it was Mark Wahlberg doing Falcon Fury. Whatever
No,
it's
not
called.
really.
I thought that was Ryan Reynolds. Genuinely.
Okay.
You can tell Tracy Morgan.
You could tell Tracy.
You could tell
Morgan.
Tracy
You could tell
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan a mile away.
Will Forte does not sound right. It's trying too hard to sound like Shaggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's really struggling with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Like, is he just?
He's just not quite hitting it.
Yeah, it's like he's straining constantly
Yeah.
to say it, and it sounds like he's like tearing up almost
Yeah.
constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't watch it.
No.
Okay. Eddie and I watched The Five Bloods.
Yep.
Eddie, what do you think of The Five Bloods?
It's all right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go
Okay.
as far, no, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's a masterpiece or anything like that.
God, no.
Well, this is your
It's
opportunity to convince me because I haven't seen The Five Bloods,
Yeah.
and the trailer
Well,
didn't
it's-
exactly sell me on the film.
It's a topical film, in the sense of it brushes alongside the Black Lives Matter movement.
It's Spike Lee topical. So it's its own story, but then tries to find parallels
yeah,
to current political.
yeah.
Yeah.
It talks,
So, yeah.
it talks about the Vietnam War and black people in the Vietnam War, and then and the modern day.
And in the modern day. Yeah, well, it's a film of two halves, definitely.
Yep.
The first half, it's them. But so the plot is these 4 black soldiers who were in their own unit in Vietnam,
Yep.
where their commander was killed. They found gold and they buried it.
Yeah.
And they said they would come back for it. And finally, like, there's been a mudslide, and like part of it's been exposed now. And,
Yes, because the gold was found in the shell of a plane that had crashed.
Okay.
So when they're going back, it is because like the tail of the plane has finally been revealed.
because of
I see.
erosion and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go back, and it's obviously 40, 50 years since they've been there.
Yeah.
And to retrieve the body of their fallen squadron.
Yeah, the
commander.
fallen squadron played by Chadwick Boseman.
Played by Chadwick Boseman. I think the only face that most audiences will be familiar with.
Yeah, it was the only one I knew.
Unless you watch The Wire, you're not going to know anybody else in it. Though they do have that guy, I think Isaiah Whitlock Jr. He's the one that gave birth to She.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he does that in every film he's in, and he does it in this as well.
Okay.
I think that was debuted in a Spike Lee film, 25th Hour.
Okay. Well, it's only polite, isn't it?
Yeah, you got
To do it, yeah.
Shit. Yes, so they go back, and then the first half of the film is them kind of getting reacquainted and finding a guide and agreeing with this dealer on like the share and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then they go tracking and reminiscing about the past, and there are parallels, and you see them back then playing themselves as younger guys.
Yeah, they've been de-aged.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
How have they been de-aged? I gotta say, I didn't even notice that. It looked to me like they were just...
And it's de-aged, but only slightly.
Only slightly. It basically, I just accepted it as a dramatic conceit that we just see them as they are now back.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
You don't question it, really.
Yeah.
Like they're all together when they find out that Martin Luther King has been shot, and they're all like, "Fuck it, let's go kill people." And Chadwick Boseman, to be fair, given that it's a Spike Lee film, says, "No, we don't do that. You don't do violence because of this. You do the opposite of that." And then something happens about halfway through the film,
Okay.
and it completely pivots and 180s and becomes a fairly traditional jungle action movie.
Yeah.
At that point, it has it flashes back to some of the Spike Lee quirks. There's like Delroy Lindo, who's the standout in the film. He's kind of like if there's a main character, I suppose it's him.
Yeah, he's the one technically billed as the lead.
He's the Colonel Kurtz. So they go there, and then he starts to go a bit postal.
Oh, I see.
Because he's still struggling with PTSD, and he worshipped the commander and still hasn't gotten over his death.
Okay.
And he just loses it, basically, and goes off on his own and monologues to the camera about... I can't even remember what it's about.
Well, monologues about a bunch of shit. But
Yeah.
he literally monologues. Like, he's facing the camera, looking straight on.
Just does a monologue.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a Spike Lee thing, it's one of It's quite predictable after that turn.
Yeah.
When that happened, it was like okay. Well, we can say what the turn is, right?
Go on.
Spoiler alert if you want to see the film. One of them steps on a landmine and just blows up, right? And I know that seems like...
Oh, Tropic Thunder.
It Tropic Thunders, yeah.
Right, okay.
Except there's more in Tropic Thunder, it just happens, right?
Yeah.
In this, there's it's going to happen just before it happens, because it's really focusing him walking off.
Okay.
It's focusing on him, and I will demonstrate to Jordan just by standing up for a sec.
Okay.
I'll narrate.
He's holding the bag, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's like walking backwards.
Edging backwards. like he knows there's one.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And it's already been clarified that they are in an area with landmines.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he steps on the landmine and just blows up. And it's so violent. Hyper violent.
Yeah, and they have this moment where he's just lying on the ground, the top half of him.
Yeah, his arms are gone. Everything below the waist it's just his torso and his head.
And one of them's just like holding him
as he just dies.
Does Chadwick Boseman lift up his head and start drinking
his
entrails?
He's dead at this point.
He's the dead one. Okay.
Yeah.
Does
Delroy Lindo.
Does Delroy Lindo pick up his head?
No, he doesn't do it. His head's attached to his body, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
But nothing else is.
Okay.
It's so violent. I think it's there to jolt you. And I was, to be fair.
Yeah.
It is like the problem is I don't think it sits well with the rest of the film. Because when the film is violent, it's hyper violent.
Yeah.
It's so violent. Like, and they do digital blood, unfortunately. When they get shot, it's digital.
Yeah.
But it gets fairly conventional after that. Like, everything you think is going to happen does happen.
Yeah.
A couple survive, and probably the couple you expect to survive.
Yeah.
Is it maybe an unwritten rule when you're doing a Vietnam film that it has to become a film like that?
I guess, but I mean, I didn't begrudge it. Like, I enjoyed that stuff. It's long. Was it like 2.5 hours long, the film?
Yeah, there's like 150 minutes, something like that.
And it's pretty dead on halfway through, I think.
154.
Okay.
But it ends with, like, there's a villain, and, like, it's an action film. And there's a villain, and they kill the villain, and, you know. I would say the ebony politicking aside, and the Spike Lee quirk aside. So they've got the conveyor belt, they've got the subtitles, every word being capitalised.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, it's fairly traditional. He goes Colonel Kurtz. The score is quite action, traditional. There's a redemption arc. The structure, the climax, it's all like paint by numbers sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Similar to The Vast of Night, though, in terms of aesthetic, I have a predisposition towards Vietnam films and films about characters friends reacquainting when they're older.
Right, okay.
Like Mystic River. I just like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
How times have changed and all that.
Well, I really... Because there's a scene in a bar, and I really like the scene because... And how did you pronounce his name?
Delroy Lindo.
No. Isaiah
Whitlock Jr.
Okay, so him. So they're in this bar and they're like walking through the bar, and he's just dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Honestly.
We talking in between his movie dancing? Or?
Like, no, he's just like doing like this as he's like jigging along.
Oh, right.
And he's just loving life. And genuinely, he's with his boy. He's like, all right. I really liked just that scene, just because it's quite nice.
The best stuff is kind of the first half stuff, I would say.
Yeah,
Even though it's nothing really happens. Like, they get into an altercation because a guy tries to sell a Vietnamese dude tries to sell him a chicken.
And doesn't relent.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, no, chicken. And then he just won't stop. And in the end...
He says, you killed my parents or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, they almost get into a fight. Right, Delroy Lindo is great.
Yes.
Like, Oscar nominee, do we think?
Yes, I suspect so. Given the year, I think there's a chance it'll be up for more than just that. But if you were going to nominate someone anyway...
It'd be him.
It would be
and
him.
he deserves it, I think. He is great. I would say it does have the politics in it. It's got discussions about Trump because one of them voted for Trump. The crazy one voted for Trump.
Of course.
And at one point, they're in a bar and someone kind of blames the son for Trump. And he stands up and he says, as a black American or something, I take no responsibility for the Klansman in the White House. Or something like that. There's all that stuff in there. There's a MAGA hat. The problem is, given its length, the film ends up being quite shallow. Not as shallow as Greyhound, but the problem is it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's too long for a shallow film.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, yeah.
It's a 90-minute thriller that's socially conscious, I think, at its heart.
Yeah.
That's where it should be. Not like an epic war drama.
No.
Because it's not a war film, it's an action film, I think. Its length isn't quite indulgence. It's more to elevate it, I would say, beyond the typical fare.
Okay.
To make it awardsy. But I was never bored.
No.
I can't say I was bored.
No, I'd have to say, because I watched it on a coach back from London.
Right.
And for me, it kept me interested while I was watching it.
Well, given its length as well, there's not much fat to it.
No.
You don't think, well, that could go, that could go, that could go. It's like it plays out fairly consequentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the annoying politics, I think, are drowned out by the story, largely. Yeah. It like I said, it kind of even gestures towards a sensible ethic. With Chadwick Boseman saying, you got the violent impulses, you got to quash them.
Yeah.
But it was the same problem with Black Klansman, and that is the coda ruins it. Because in Black Klansman, it was Charlottesville, right?
Yeah.
The guy who ran over
in the truck.
Protesters.
Was it in the truck? You ran over
the car, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, the car. Okay.
In this, it's Black Lives Matter. So one of the characters donates his share of the gold to BLM.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've ruined it. For me, anyway.
Okay.
It was just so
unnecessary.
And very trying to be on the nose about it.
I just kind of want a film that doesn't have to be caught up in current affairs.
Right.
You know?
In the cop rage.
Yeah. Can I just enjoy this Vietnam War film?
I do miss it. I miss films not having to slot that in.
I mean, I will, based on what you've said, I will watch it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I recommend it.
Yeah.
I do, all told, I recommend it.
But it would be nice to just have a film that's a film, you know? It can have thoughts and ideas of its own, but it doesn't have to be... Does it have to be so entrenched in current affairs?
Well, of the films we've discussed so far, The Vast of Night, that's about the closest you get.
Yeah, but it's a period piece.
Yeah.
And Greyhound, I guess. But then again, I don't... No, there is a black guy in the film. Yeah, there's a couple.
He's the chef.
Yeah.
Messman.
Okay,
well, do we recommend it?
Yeah, I do recommend it. I do think, as I say, I think at minimum Delroy Lindo will be up.
Yeah.
Although we were just discussing before, because I said he's technically billed as the lead, so I expect him to be up for lead now. You said you thought he might be up for support.
I would say supporting, yeah, because it's an ensemble film. It would feel weird, I think, if he got lead.
But yeah, as I say, given the year, I mean, it might have made it for Best Picture anyway, just because of what it is.
Yeah.
But I said I thought Spike Lee might slip into the director category.
Well, who's his competition at the moment?
Again, it remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Because The Vast of Night, I'm sure, will consider it awards-worthy. Amongst ourselves.
It'll be awards-worthy to us, but not to the category.
That's what I'm saying. It's too small for the Oscars.
It's too small.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, it's so weird, isn't it? It's so delicate, because at the moment, it's like everything is going to be VOD, and there'll be no major... Because auteurs won't want their films to be released on Netflix.
Tenet's been indefinitely taken off the schedule now.
Oh, again?
Yeah, again.
Right, okay.
Well, the thing is, like, Charlie Kaufman is having a film made with Netflix, which is upsetting.
Okay.
It's like, oh, why? Why must it all fucking be Netflix? But people like Wes Anderson probably won't allow their film to be released.
The French Dispatch was delayed, right?
Yeah.
French Dispatch was delayed. I mean, James Bond... Well, not that it necessarily been up for awards, other than maybe like the song and stuff.
Well, the song will be up,
There's talk that's now being pushed back until next summer.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's the thing.
God, 2021 is going to be busy, isn't it?
Well, 2021 will be a big year for film.
Either it just carries on like this, and this year is a complete write-off, or inexplicably, like, we get back on track, and so they start releasing everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, which I don't think they'll do that.
No, I think it's more likely that we get 2021's clustered.
Yeah, but I think at this point you've got to look at everything that's coming out.
Yeah.
Because TV series have carried on. We've still got most of a lot of the TV series that probably would have come out.
Because they already filmed it, right?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it's next year we're going to see a dress.
Yes. Yeah.
But film, at the moment, I don't think there is enough coming out this year to warrant there being an Oscars.
There will be an Oscars. It might be digital, but there will be.
I'm saying I don't at the moment. Depending on when things still come out, I don't think there's enough to warrant it.
This is actually I'm actually really interested this year to see what the Oscars will be.
Because interesting films might crack through on accident.
Exactly. Yeah, we might reach it. Like fuck, there's nothing to nominate. Let's nominate The Vast of Night.
I said like The Invisible Man now seems viable.
Yeah, definitely.
For lead actress or something, which we think might deserve some nominations, especially for her.
Yeah,
but normally wouldn't get a look at.
That sort of genre stuff never breaks through.
I did prefer it on a rewatch because I was a bit iffy when we first discussed it. But now I've rewatched The Invisible Man.
Now we've told you what to think. You like it, is it?
No. Just like I rewatched it and we're like, oh, okay, it wasn't quite as bad as I felt like it was.
No, I rewatched it recently with the family, and it's very good.
It's good.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, definitely holds up.
Yeah.
You might.
I mean, that sits as my 4th favourite film of the year now.
Same.
So
they might accidentally nominate good films.
I think Tenet will still come out this year.
I don't know, man.
I don't think it's ever going to come out. That's going to be the tradition now. It's like every year we're going to...
Yeah.
The annual delaying of Tenet.
Be like a December film or something, like a Christmas.
I think it'll still come out, but I think because... Obviously, like the cinemas have already talked about how they didn't know how they're going to open. In Wales, they're talking of not opening many.
Right.
I mean, I know when it comes to like James Bond, I know that there's the Universal versus the cinemas kind of situation still going on. James Bond is technically a Universal co-production, so they didn't know whether that was going to be in cinemas, and I know they're trying to rectify it.
Yeah.
Universal are in active talks at the moment. I know that.
The only thing I worry about is the films that made more money because they went online is going to convince distributors to just stick to online.
Well, that's what's happened with Universal, right? Trolls World Tour.
Well, they've said that they would, because that's the dispute with Universal is that they've said they're going to release stuff online, and then in cinema.
And then in cinema, the other way around, surely.
I think that's the
or
way
simultaneous release.
Or simultaneous.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind things like The Assistant, for instance, being released online. It's weird watching a lot of these VOD releases now and thinking, oh yeah, this would have been in a cinema.
Yeah, and this would have just drowned.
Yeah,
it would have drowned in the cinema.
That's fine, but not those films. Not the proper auteur films or the big films. You got to see Tenet on a big screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would be happy with that if that became like a structure going forward, where the cinema is. It's your Disney films, it's your Universal films, it's your big fare, like Tenet and whatnot. And the films that have sort of disappeared in recent years, like your American Beauties, which are kind of like middle budget and even like low budget films, they sort of come out on VOD. So I feel like you can with VOD.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel queasy about it. Because I still want to be able to watch a Wes Anderson film in a cinema.
Yeah. There might be like like some venues will do stuff like that.
Well, if you've got the multiplexes that show all the shit. Yeah. And then like cinemas, they won't survive though. But like cinemas show those films.
Yeah. But the multiplexes do like every like weekend we show mid-tier films.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rest is VOD. That's fine. Because there were films that were just released online anyway.
Yeah.
But I hope this isn't the shape of things to come now. Of like, oh fuck it, we made 10 times more because we put it online.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah. Should we talk about Doctor Who?
Okay.
Yep. Sure. Do you want to introduce this?
Oh, is that a new one?
No, well, that was series 4, I think, or series 3.
What is the new one now?
It's that horrible whaley one.
Yeah. That.
Okay. So now that we're introduced, Series 9 of Doctor Who. And that's our thoughts on Series 9 of Doctor Who.
It baffles me that the critics are giving it positive reception. Why?
Well, we're in the dark age now. We're fully in the dark age.
Yeah.
Like Series 7, revisiting it wasn't great, but it was sort of surprising, like just how iffy some of those episodes were. But now, like post Series 8, this is Doctor Who on the decline.
It's dull. It's so dull. It is being trapped. It is
like a moth in a bath.
Well, my first note is the guitar isn't plugged in.
0 out of 10. Worst season.
So that can fuck itself.
He's a Time Lord. He probably has like guitar wave traveling technology.
No, because he has amps in later episodes. I'm sure he does.
I was to say, I mean, there is such thing as a pocket amp, but
he doesn't have one.
Yeah, but he's not plugged in.
No.
If he'd have had a pocket amp in his like coat pocket, then yeah, fine.
It's a shame because that is actually Capaldi. He is actually playing.
Yeah,
he's
in that punk band, doesn't he?
That's why the Doctor now plays a guitar. It's because Capaldi could do it.
Yeah. And he joked, like, I should play the opening theme on a
and they were like,
right,
fuck it, go for it.
He was in a band with Craig Ferguson, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you listened to them?
No. Are they bad?
They're weird. Listen to them. I don't know what I think about them. They're punky. Capaldi's the singer, it sounds like.
Oh, okay.
Playing the guitar and singing. So, yeah, just listen.
Okay.
In fact, you're going to hear it now.
Are we allowed?
I think so. Not like they can't make money off it, can they?
Okay. Well, we'll see. Our 4-hour podcast gets demonetized because of 30 seconds.
Because of that.
Taken down.
This is not going to be 4 hours. Come on.
No.
We're doing okay. We're doing better than last time.
Yeah. Only 2 hours in.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say.
I don't really have much to say. I guess he's cool this season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like his outfit.
I don't. I hate the hoodie.
You're
in your 50s. Don't worry, you're wearing a fucking hoodie.
Do you know why he's got that outfit now?
I don't.
It's because Capaldi wanted anyone to be able to cosplay as the Doctor. So that the outfit is designed so that anybody can wear that outfit.
And then, like the arc of the not the arc, but
There isn't an arc.
there's not. The resolution of the season is, and we're back to original outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the point? It seems like he was having a slump, like he just had a breakup when he was eating ice cream, sitting in his hoodie eating ice cream out
it's
of a
kind of
bowl.
like that, because that's the first episode is mostly, we can't find the Doctor and he's about to die, let's go find the Doctor.
Yeah, he's wearing a hoodie now. I guess like cool uncle is the vibe they're going for.
Yeah.
Plays a guitar, he's avuncular.
Like, I don't know how I feel about the change. You don't have positive feelings towards it, Eddie, do you?
About what?
The fact that he's the change from Series 8 to Series 9. Do you dislike this incarnation of Capaldi?
You like the outfit, you said.
No, but I like the outfit because I like wearing the similar outfit.
All right.
See? It works.
Yeah, but he's not Doctor Who, is he? The Doctor.
Yeah, like I own a long coat and a hoodie. That I wear.
My only point was going to be, I feel like there's a little bit more mileage in the PG Malcolm Tucker of Series 8.
Yeah, and I like the throwback vibe. Even if it wasn't, it felt like a more traditional incarnation of Doctor
I just
Who.
realised what you meant. No, I'm not particularly a fan of him.
Yeah. But I don't hate this incarnation of Capaldi. It's kind of disappointing that he can't be as mean as he was in Series 8.
Right.
But they still find place for banter and, like, those fun, quote-unquote, fun back and forths between him and the companions and stuff like that.
Well, I saw it as a plus because I realised at one point I was no longer watching Malcolm Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's not.
And that's the other advantage, is that it distances him from that character.
It does.
Oh,
like his
definitely.
face notwithstanding, it does.
I think even his face looks softer.
It does.
They made such a big deal of the eyebrows in Series 8, you barely notice them now.
Yeah. The guitar does become obnoxious. I know they're trying to look cool, but it's like it pops up in every episode.
Yeah.
Not literally, but
every story.
Every story.
That's the other thing to point out about Series 9 as well, is it's basically all two-parters.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting choice.
Well, it's a risky gambit.
Yeah.
Because if you got a shit story, you're fucked for 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like that was always a plus. Like if we got shit episodes, like, well, at least it all resets for the next one. It is obnoxious. Don't you think they're like every fucking time, like, enough with
well,
the guitar?
they're sort of fast tracking that character now, aren't they? Because we've had a season of a different character essentially. So we need to acquaint you with and get you comfortable with this version of Capaldi. So that's probably why there's such a density of like the guitar and everything. I have a story regarding the first 2 episodes of the series. Shall I tell my story?
If you want, yes.
Okay. I don't know if you know this story, Eddie. So when we were in university, you are given the option as a film student to buy a BAFTA card. Now, what that basically means is that for a small fee, you get this BAFTA card, which allows you to go and see cinema releases for free. You don't have to pay to go to the cinema. And I thought that was the only benefit to it, because it was like 35 quid for a year. So it was a student price, but it wasn't much. So I thought, like, I could just, like, I'll go and see films for free. And I didn't even do that most of the time. That shows how, like, lazy we were in uni. I literally had free cinema pass. And I barely saw enough films to justify the pass.
I think we went a lot, didn't we? I felt like we didn't invite you, obviously.
No, naturally.
We went as course, like we
between
like,
lectures or whatever. Like, we got the things. We used to go watch all the Oscar.
Yeah, well, because I remember us going to see Gravity.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have gone to see that without a BAFTA card.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, I remember us going to see 12 Years a Slave because like a few of us went to that.
Yeah.
You're the only, you are now the only, like, other than obviously you, George, but like you are the only one of that group that I would go to the cinema with now.
Oh yeah.
Like,
people change, times change.
Like, I guess you can have the tears. I won't.
Oh, that was false. That was false emotion.
No, that was wind. That wasn't tears.
Carry on.
Yeah, BAFTA card. So I thought that was the only benefit, but one day I get an email from BAFTA saying, "Oh, we have this event that you may be interested in," and I saw Doctor Who in the title, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll have a look at this." I should have found this email actually to read it out, because from the language of it, I didn't really assume anything of it. Like, it said, like, oh, you go to, like, people will meet up and we'll watch some clips from Doctor Who and we'll have somebody talking about the clips that you've seen.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got from the email. I was just like, oh, it's just going to be like, like someone who, like, interned on Doctor Who is going to be like, oh yeah, I think they did this and that to this episode. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll go. And it was in cinema, like a cinema in Cardiff. So I went to the cinema, got there, red carpet outside. It's like, oh, okay, they're going all out for this. This is rather strange. Went up to, like, the bouncer that was on the door. I should also point out there was, like, velvet rope on either side, and there were, like, people behind this rope. So I basically walked down this, like, mini red carpet to this bouncer. I was like, oh, is there, like, a Doctor Who thing on? He went, have you got any ID? I went, no, I gave him my ID, and he went, no, you're not on the list. I went, oh, I've got a BAFTA card. He went, oh, hang on. He got out a different list, looked at the list, and he went, oh yeah, there you are. Off you go. I was like, okay. Now I was wearing, like, my typical get, so I was just, like, wearing jeans.
Your school shooter setup.
My typical setup. I see what you did there. Don't be like that.
No, you do dress a bit like a school shooter. Because you got, like, the long black coat.
Yeah.
And you wear black a lot. Black t-shirts and stuff. Right. And you got those fingerless gloves.
Oh, I haven't worn those for years.
No, I know, but still. My image of you is as a school
right.
shooter. Yeah, instead of the AK, you've got that long, massive umbrella on you.
Do you know what? I was actually told
He's
off
gone
once.
full Kingsman.
I was actually told off once, because there's, like, a pocket inside my long coat that I hang the umbrella off, because it's a curved handle. So I was walking in, and I just had, like, the bottom of this umbrella poking out from under my coat.
Looked like Neo.
And the bouncer was like, yeah, you might not want to do that.
Yeah.
People might get the wrong idea. So I was like, okay. So yeah, I went upstairs, and I was dressed in, like, jeans, trainers, and I had I had a Doctor Who themed T-shirt where it was just a Dalek in, like, an armchair saying "procrastinate."
Okay,
that was the T-shirt that I had. It was from, like, Redbubble or something. It's obviously not official merch. So I went up to, like, the top floor, because I was being directed to go to the top floor, and there was the bar at the top floor that they have in the cinema, and there were, like, people behind the bar that were in, like, tuxedos. Basically, it was completely on my own. I was the only person there. So I was like, is this the Doctor Who thing? And they went, oh yeah, sit down. Would you like anything? Can we get you a drink? Can we get you anything to eat? Like snacks? I was like, no, I'm okay. So I waited there for a little while. People started showing up again in tuxedos and black tie fair. I was like, okay, what's going on? All of a sudden, Stephen Moffat walks through the door. I was like, right. And then somebody comes out. It's like, oh, if I could have everybody to come through to the screening room now. It's like, okay, went into the screening room. Stephen Moffat is at the front of the cinema. Welcome to the press screening for Doctor Who Series 9. So somehow, for some reason, I ended up at the press screening. But everyone was in, like, tuxedos and, like, smart suits, and I was in, like, my Doctor Who procrastinate t-shirt.
So what was it? 2 episodes, was it?
That's the thing. They'd done one in Scotland and they'd done one in England.
Right.
And they'd only shown The Magician's Apprentice, which is the first episode of the season. For us, they showed the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
So we saw The Witch's Familiar and Magician's Apprentice back to back.
Right.
And then there was a Q&A at the end. So not only was Stephen Moffat there, fucking Peter Capaldi was there, and Jenna Coleman was there.
Did you ask a question?
I was going to. I didn't, because it was like everyone was being very
Jenna
competitive.
Coleman was in the room. He weren't talking.
I wasn't talking. No.
Image of Jordan walking up to the microphone. Just, may I?
May I? What? Oh God, no! Yeah, no. I was gonna ask a question, but the press was so well. They were basically just snatching the microphone from people.
That was so funny. It's a press screening.
I would say that is what the press do.
Yeah, I know. That's what the
all
press
the
do.
journalists like asking press questions.
Yeah.
And just like,
It's interesting that
What colour's your underwear?
what are you wearing underneath that?
Oh, Eddie, I already know the colour.
What do they call it? Gutter? No, like the paparazzi in the gutter, like up skirt shot. Up skirt. Is that what you've been doing?
I got a slight crush on the girl. You're painting me as like this weird.
You just implied you were wanking in the cinema.
Yeah, I was playing along, but this is getting out of hand
Dressed
now.
as a school shooter as well.
Jordan Criddle's upskirt moment.
No, because that implies that I was the one who was upskirted.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No.
Yeah, no, it was interesting to see firsthand just how, like, predatory and vicious the press are when it comes to that.
You know, paparazzi do lie in the gutter and take like upskirt shots. And like if they wrote an article that was like, oh, look at her mangy minge.
Right.
That would be a pap smear, wouldn't it? Because they're paparazzi.
I guess it would.
It would. I'm sorry, I had to say that.
And that was this edition of Sam's Lexicorner.
Sam's Lexicorner. Oh, I fucking forgot my Lexicorner, actually.
What was it relating to?
It was sort of relating to Scoob, but not really.
Oh, okay.
So I can say that apropos of nothing.
Oh, go on then.
Okay, here's Sam's Lexicorner.
Samuel. Words. Phrases. Sam's Lexicorner.
Yeah, so it came about. Actually, is when we were watching Stalks.
Yes, it was. Yeah, but
There was a
Scoob
moment
does
in
this.
Scoob. It does this.
So that's why we. Yeah.
It's in traditionally American comedies where they will tell a joke, or there'll be a joke in the film, and then the real joke is just addressing the joke that just happened.
Yeah.
So, can you give an example from Stalks?
So
'Cause
in
they're doing it
Stalks, the
repeatedly.
mother, like the kid is building like a contraption at the top of the house.
Yeah.
So the Stalks will know where to deliver the baby, and the mother is not on board with this. But then the son and the father convince her, so she grabs the hammer and she like smashes up the chimney, and she goes, mothers can be fun too, and she smashes the chimney, and then the dust clears, and then she goes, wow, that chimney was not very well built. I'm a small woman. I could have that could have fallen down and killed us.
Like pointing at the holes in the flaws in the logic.
Yeah,
and that sort of
explaining what's funny about the joke.
Yes, or trying something that requires a big effort, and then it fails, and the guy goes, well, that immediately failed.
Yeah.
I think they do that in Stalks.
That annoys me. That's one of the things that I hate about American
It's very American.
because it feels like it's robbing the audience of that moment.
Yes.
Typically, that's a thing an
It's
audience
kind of
member.
condescending.
It is condescending,
Yeah.
but that is what you whether you're watching a thing on your own or you've gathered up your mates and you're having like a drunk movie night.
Right.
That's what you do. You go, oh
Yeah.
fuck, that chimney wasn't well
Right.
built,
Yes.
and now the film's doing it for you. So I guess I go, oh, cheers.
Yeah, I don't know. But that impulse, I want to reappropriate a pre-existing term.
Okay.
Gag reflex.
Okay.
That moment is the gag reflex.
Because it makes you want to gag.
And also it's
Yeah.
it's a knee-jerk reaction to a joke.
Yes.
That was that for Sam's Lexicorner.
Gag reflex.
Gag reflex.
Gag reflex.
Say it.
Gag reflex.
There we go. Okay, back to...
You could have put on a gag reflex. Gag reflex.
I mean, less valleys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Samuel. Words. Phrases. Sam's Lexicorner.
Back to who?
Who?
Exactly.
What?
Who?
Eddie, what's happening?
No, that's just...
Back to Doctor Who.
That was very confusing. What happened there?
It was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
There was like a miscommunication.
Yeah.
So, what's with the fourth wall break at the start of that episode?
It's he's explaining the bootstrap paradox.
Right.
Because it ends up being a plot point later in the episode.
The fourth wall break.
Yeah.
I can't... What is it?
Well, they... so this is the second part of the second story.
Before the flood.
Before the flood, the episode is called, where the fourth wall break happens. Basically, the way that they resolve the situation requires a bootstrap paradox, which is the paradox where it's the grandfather paradox by another name.
Yeah.
Whereas, if I go back in time and kill my grandfather, I'll never be alive to kill my grandfather. So my grandfather will be alive, but I killed him, so...
Yeah, it's a variation on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the idea is that they're outright just explaining it to you
Yeah.
so that you understand the concept. So when it's employed later in the episode, you understand what's happening.
Right.
It's just a way of getting the audience on the same page as...
Oh, no, but so breaking the fourth wall is not a plot point. It's just what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right. How is that acceptable?
But here's the thing, though. I feel like... I'm going to have to consult my notes, because I felt like it was a pretty weak excuse for a bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
I feel like there have been way better examples in previous episodes that they could have done this for.
But also there's... listen, that starts with a similar sort of... him on his own just kind of cogitating.
Yeah.
But that's done... He's thinking aloud to himself, right?
Yeah.
This is... He's just telling the audience what it is.
Yeah.
How is that acceptable? This never happened in Doctor Who.
No, it hasn't. I don't know.
Is the... Oh, fuck it. It's got... It's
I've consulted my notes, and my only note for Before the Flood is this is a waste of Corey Taylor.
Corey Taylor?
Yeah.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Doing what?
He's the roar of the Fisher King. Of the monster.
Right. Okay.
But that's all he does.
That's all he does.
That's literally all he
Is
does.
it a waste? What would you get Corey Taylor to do?
Well, more than just a roar that is so synthesized you can't even...
Yeah.
It's not even impressive.
Well, when they announced it was him, a lot of people assumed he was playing the Fisher King.
Or at least doing the voice. And the voice is Peter Serafinowicz,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I like Peter Serafinowicz. He's good at voice work, but, Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
Fucking use him.
So, I mean, he's a singer, he's not an actor, to be fair. So it would just be...
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But still, it feels like if you're going to advertise Corey Taylor,
Yeah.
maybe use him a bit more.
Also, if you're going to create a character, why have 3 different people involved?
Yeah, the Fisher King...
You've got a roar, a voice, and an actor.
See, the Fisher King doesn't strike me as the kind of monster that would talk.
No.
Or at least be as quote-unquote eloquent as he was.
Definitely a Power Rangers villain vibe.
Yeah, he's just a monster. He roars and he's a brute. He's not like this, you, Doctor, you fear me, and blah, 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 blah. It's not that.
No. Yeah, I just think the fourth wall thing is unforgivable.
Okay. Is it unforgivable?
I mean, most of the series...
It's jarring. It's immensely jarring.
Yeah.
And if the bootstrap paradox was more important to the episode, then I probably would have forgiven it. Because I would have thought, what we need...
But it's just another break in the rule. You can just explain all that to Clara. I mean, that's what they're there for, right? That's what the companion's there for. Is us to be us.
Yeah.
Look at her, don't look at me, you fucking Scottish dick. What's the derogatory term for a Scotch? They don't like Scotch, do they?
No, they don't like Scotch. They don't like Scotch.
They don't. No, they don't. They like to be called Scotch.
No.
Irish?
Just call them...
Call them Irish. Yeah.
Call them bagpipe and butt munchers.
Yeah, you bagpipers. Okay. I mean, we've spoken ad infinitum about them breaking the rules.
Yeah.
It's like even the format now. It's
This is a hell of a rule breaker.
Yeah.
Because they do play with it a bit. Like the one of these episodes, Sleep No More, is found footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I feel like came out after the found footage thing was already we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And here comes Doctor Who, we're with the kids too. We're hip and we do things.
Never shrug off a gimmick.
Yeah.
I think the main thing to talk about is the monologue.
Which monologue?
The monologue. Because it's real cat. Well, that monologue.
Oh, the war monologue from the Zygon inversion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a game, Kate.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, it's not real cat. That's how much
It's not a real cat.
Kate.
When will you learn?
You're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a fan of it then.
I like it, yeah.
Okay.
I like it as I don't like that story, the Zygon story, at all, really.
It is so let down by the episode around it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a bit late to be returning to a story that was started in the 50th anniversary. That feels like something you jump off from.
Right.
It's like, all of a sudden we're doing the Zygon thing again.
The Zygons.
What do you think?
That won't pick up. So if you want to...
I said, but Zygons.
Okay.
What do you think of that monologue?
I think the monologue's decent.
Yeah.
And I like Zygons, but no,
Okay.
the rest of the episode's shite.
The episode is shit. But just the monologue. Let's just hone in on the monologue.
Also, I like the idea of Clara being the villain.
Okay.
It's not actually Clara, but Jenna Louise Coleman is playing the villain, and I think that's I like it when shows do things like that, where they kind of switch things up slightly and sort of like, it's this character, but it's in this new context almost.
Okay. It's good. It's a bit over the top. The delivery of it. I know what they're going for. It's a big, grand
Yeah,
thing.
it's the Oscar speech.
It's the Oscar speech.
Yeah.
But I think it would have benefited from being delivered more subtly. So rather than, and when I close my eyes, it should have been, and when I close my eyes. And you can see what he's, what he's thinking about. Rather than this, he's tortured. It's not Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I know they're going broader.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I think it would benefit from being a bit more, when someone's quiet, it's more doom-laden, I think,
Well, that's the thing. That speech is mostly to the backdrop of silence. There's no music, there's no sound effects in the scene. It is just Capaldi speaking.
Yeah.
But at that moment where he goes, and when I close my eyes, that's when the music starts to kick in.
Yeah.
And I think that's the moment where the speech starts to become a bit too melodramatic.
Yeah.
Prior to that, where it's just like, it's silence and you are listening to him, I think it works.
I agree.
They before John Hurt passed away, they gave him that speech in at a fan convention or something when he was on stage, and asked him to read out the speech.
Right.
He hadn't seen it before, so he was fumbling over words occasionally, but he was subtle about it.
Okay.
And maybe it's just because John Hurt is as well as an old man, but it does have there's a bit of weight to it.
Gravitas.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud it because it's anti-utopian. And it's actually anti-progressive. Or anti-progressivism, anyway.
Okay.
I just want to read out bits of it.
Okay.
And you infer what I'm really talking about from...
Oh dear. Okay.
Like every other tantruming child in history, you don't actually know what you want. When you've killed all the bad guys and when it's all perfect and just and fair, and you finally got it exactly the way you want it, what are you going to do with the people like you, the troublemakers? How are you going to protect your glorious revolution from the next one? Nobody wins for long. The wheel just keeps turning. Just going to leave that there.
Yeah, I thought you would.
It's clearly relevant, right?
Yes, but do you think it was intended to be taken that way?
I think it was intended to be taken as an anti kind of communist utopian. You can't correct reality.
I think it's just straight up anti-war, and any implication beyond that was accidental.
I don't think so. I don't think they weren't talking about Black Lives Matter, obviously.
No, and I'm not saying it's slightly against the left, therefore it can't be correct.
Right.
I just think that the intention is this is going to be an anti-war speech, and these points exist purely to serve that function.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily anti-left. It is anti-progressivism.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could apply this to the far right as well.
Oh yeah.
But this thing about cleansing reality and what are you going to do with people like you, the trouble, that is distinctly anti-communist.
Okay.
I'm not saying that let's write an anti-communist thing. It feels more specific than just a vague anti-war thing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's not just people die, it's when you've got rid of this person and this person and this person, what are you going to do with you? What I've got another quote here. When you fire that first shot, no matter how right you feel, you have no idea who's going to die. You don't know whose children are going to scream and burn, how much blood will spill, until everybody does what they were always going to have to do from the very beginning, sit down and talk. Again, that feels relevant.
That moment I really like in the speech.
Yeah, sit down and talk.
Him shouting that feels right.
Yes.
Because the camera pulls away to a wide shot as well, so we get a real sense of the atmosphere in the room.
Yeah.
The way that everyone's feeling. So I think that works.
Just he's so tired of it.
Yeah.
It's the same shit again and again and again. You're just going to have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
That felt more along the lines of how you portray someone who's X 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to... It's kind of like a pat on the back in the way. But we've alluded to the articles that I wrote about what's currently going on.
Yeah.
And there's something he says that resonated with something that I wrote, and it felt right.
Oh, okay.
I wrote, I may be ignored, but I will continue... I'm quoting myself now. I may be ignored, but I will continue to point out the brakes on this car are faulty. Once the crash occurs, I may be dead, but at least I won't have died a hypocrite or a fool. And he says, after she says, I won't change my mind, he says to her, then you will die stupid.
Okay.
So that kind of clicked for me.
Okay.
Right, I know that he's seen kind of countless wars and infinite bloodshed and all that sort of thing. What the fuck has he done? He says, I've done terrible things. What has he done? Has he murdered people?
Well, that's the thing. He destroyed Gallifrey. But now he hasn't, because they retconned that in the 50th.
Okay, yeah, and I get that, but him destroying Gallifrey wasn't like him destroying Gallifrey, right?
No, it was.
Yeah. Well, what did he do?
He destroyed the planet.
Yeah, how?
Well, he used that...
He blew the planet up and killed everyone that was on it.
Okay, he didn't rape and pillage it.
No.
He didn't murder people. He did, but do you know what I mean? There's a separation between.
Well,
there is though, isn't there?
People died because of him.
Yeah, I get
People
that.
who
I
he
get
didn't
that.
want to kill
But
died
it's the whole
because of him.
trolley problem, isn't it? There is all humans that there's a distinction between I press a button and someone somewhere dies, and you've got to kill the person.
Yeah.
But he talks like he's some sort of Viking.
Right.
That, do you know what I mean? That murdered all these people.
Yeah. I mean,
the implication is that before. Well, the idea was before it was in the 50th, when he's talking about the Time War.
Yeah.
Before he blows it all up, he was on the front line in that war.
oh yeah, he was a soldier. He did.
So he did kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did
But
he
then
blow
again,
up Gallifrey?
they've retconned because they retconned that in the 50th.
It does make it a bit hollow when he's talking about like I've done terrible things, and the most terrible thing we know he's done has been reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll admit that. That is a bit disappointing.
Why did he destroy Gallifrey?
Because he saw it as the only way to end the Time War.
Yeah.
Okay.
To kill both Time Lords and Daleks.
So he Nagasaki'd it.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. The kind of realist / dark spirit in me wanted one of them to press the button.
Yes.
Obviously, nothing would have happened.
No.
But I'm dealt with that.
Yeah.
You know? If I get it, like after that speech, they kind of have to both step away, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like if it would have felt more real if one of them gone, great
like
speech.
maybe Kate steps away, but
Yeah.
the Zygon presses the button.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have felt good because then you got to deal with that.
It would, but at the same time, it would feel a bit like a cop-out, wouldn't it? They press the button, but the box was never real. It feels like we're dodging consequences.
Not really, because you're dodging consequences either way.
Okay.
Right? I know they make the choice, but you could have explored the consequences of nothing happened, but you pressed the button.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you've seen a film, someone goes to kill someone and it's not loaded.
Yeah.
It's like you were just going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
You've still got to deal with that, right?
Okay. Right. It annoys me that the town that's sort of the pivotal town within this story is Truth or Consequences.
Yeah.
Which is a real place in Mexico.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually film in Truth or Consequences.
No.
Why? What was the point? It's not like New York. You could probably film there.
I suspect that the town probably said no.
Right.
That is my suspicion because someone thought that out. They went to the effort
Yeah,
of finding
they
out
literally
about
found truth or consequences.
Is
Like,
it
right, we'll
truth
weave this into the story.
All consequences, or is it truth and consequences?
Truth
or.
The place is called All.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard the expression truth and consequences before,
Okay.
but not all.
No, yeah, the place in America. Is it still called Truth or Consequences, or have
think
they
so.
changed it back yet?
No, I think it's still called truth or consequences.
I'm glad he's back to the old costume at the very end.
Okay.
That was good.
Are you glad that he's back to an actual sonic screwdriver rather than
I
those
don't.
stupid sunglasses?
I don't care about that. But I care about the sunglasses trying to make him cool.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. As long as but all that shit's gone. Is the guitar gone?
I don't think so. It's not as prominent.
Okay.
It's not as prominent.
Does he use it in Serious Dan?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
I think it's the first thing we see him do.
Brilliant.
He's doing it off. He's kind of playing
He's
it.
doing it what?
As in, like, you hear it in another
Off to
room
the
and then he
side.
kind of...
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Should we talk about the Christmas, the Husbands of River song?
Why do you want to talk about the husband's
Well, it's the
River
only
song?
thing I've got left to talk about.
Oh, okay. Oh, you completely missed Heaven Sent.
What's that?
The one where he punches the wall.
I knew you'd bring that
The
up.
Capaldi single-hander.
Yeah. Nah. Because I looked up the reviews of that,
Yeah.
and it said it's like considered one of the best episodes of the show.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I knew you wouldn't like it
No.
because you've proven that you have terrible taste with Doctor
Sure.
Who. But you want to maybe explain why you didn't like it?
I just didn't think anything of it.
Okay.
It didn't strike me as being particularly good. Do you know, the thing with Doctor Who is, it's not like, here's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
It's either good or I have no opinion. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? For the most part.
Right.
It's just passing me by now.
Okay.
In fact, I want to ask you to explain something to me because I just don't pay attention anymore.
Right.
And that is Clara dying.
Yeah.
Explain all that to me.
Well, she died.
After she dies.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
What
You're
do you
going to
wanna
have to be
know?
more specific.
Well, she dies.
Yes.
The Raven kills her.
Yeah.
After that, she's back. Explain that to me.
He goes into her time stream, takes her out of it, but he can only do it temporarily.
Okay,
So she's
yeah.
still
So
dead.
the idea is that on Gallifrey they have this machine that allows them to extract somebody from their timeline.
Okay, that'll do.
Yes.
That's literally all it is.
Okay.
But yeah,
So it's her, but
yeah,
frozen at the point of her death.
just literally a millisecond before it.
Okay.
And the whole point is he does that. He takes her to the end of time hoping that it will restart.
Yeah, the series finale is just a jumbled mess. Generally speaking. Especially since like it goes back to Gallifrey, but it doesn't really stay there. It's not about the return to Gallifrey. It's about like, oh, I want to get Clara back.
Yeah.
Which I part of me appreciates it. Part of me understands it. But this is a big deal. The Doctor going back to his home planet for the first time in fucking decades of the show. And it's just like, oh yeah, I guess I'm here. No, we're going to do this instead. But the typical Moffat thing, like that's a silly idea. Like, oh, Clara's alive now. She's basically immortal. But nestled within that is like a nice idea that they don't do anything with. And that's the fact she doesn't have a heartbeat. I think that's a really interesting idea.
Right.
Someone living without a heartbeat.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because he says, like, Clara says there's something wrong with my hearing.
Right.
And the Doctor says there's a sound that you hear every day of your life that you've learned to tune out, and that's your heartbeat. And now your heart isn't beating. You share that absence.
Right.
Like, that's a nice idea. Admittedly, I don't know where you could take that.
No, that's
but it's
the thing.
disappointing that that's brushed over.
It's a nice idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, like, it's a concept that could have been explored necessarily. It does feel like a detail that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that it was a mistake bringing Clara back, basically.
Yeah.
Because is it fair to say that the thrust of Series 9 is that Clara is basically becoming the Doctor?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, that is the point.
Okay.
He calls her out on it in Under the Lake. It's not under. I'm being careful not to say Under the Silver Lake, but the episode is.
It is Under the Lake. Yeah.
It is Under the Lake. He basically says to Clara, just so you know, there's only room in this TARDIS for one Doctor, so cut out this bullshit of being the Doctor. And she's like, oh, all right, okay. And yeah, so in Face the Raven, she takes the tattoo from Rigsy, because the tattoo is counting down, and when the tattoo reaches 0, the Raven will kill him.
Yeah.
This is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
But again, that's something stupid that I like the idea of a tattoo that counts down.
Yeah, it's a decent idea. But it's that image, isn't it? It's like, oh, the image of a tattoo counting down.
Yes.
Oh shit, now I have to think of a fucking...
Because it's like in, I think it's Rush Hour 3. Not a good film, but I love the idea of the tattoo being them tattooing the thing on the head.
Yeah.
I really like that idea.
Yeah. So she takes the tattoo from Rigsy because she says this is what the Doctor would do. The Doctor would, by taking the tattoo from you, it sort of buys us some more time. And that gets her killed.
Yeah.
The fact that she's trying too hard to be the Doctor gets her killed.
Right.
I think that's a good way to end her story.
Yeah.
That's a good way of losing a companion. The Doctor has sort of unknowingly altered them and manipulated them into basically acting like him.
Yeah.
And that gets them killed. That's a really interesting narrative thing to do.
Right.
Because then you can have... It's kind of what Heaven Sent is. As much as you don't like it, that is basically what the episode is.
Don't hate it.
No, okay, but you don't like it.
Yes.
That's basically what the episode is. Grief is the monster of Heaven Sent.
Right.
That's what the episode is. It's him coming to terms with Clara's death. He's trapped in this location.
Yeah.
That is a monument to her in a way. Like, that's what grief is. And there's that line, isn't it? It's the day you lose someone isn't the hardest. It's all the days they stay dead.
Right.
So that's what that episode is about. And then in Hellbent, Clara's back and she's immortal and she has a TARDIS and a companion.
Yeah. What's going on? What happens there then? What's going on there with what's Ashildir?
A Shilder.
A Shilder.
They're just gonna go. They're going off on adventures now, are they?
Yeah, she's the Doctor, basically.
Which
I don't like that.
No.
I think that's bad.
No, because I was gonna say I thought she was returning to Gallifrey to die, but
it was she is, but she's going the long way around.
She's going to take her time, right?
Yeah.
What the thing with me? I mean, I don't like Maisie Williams in this.
I don't mind her. I don't like her. I don't mind her.
I thought she was all right in the first one. I kind of didn't like her from there on.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
But I also didn't like her because at the time the series was out, I don't know if you remember this, she was one of the people under consideration in terms of the names that were being touted out as the next companion because you knew Jenna Coleman was going.
Okay. Right. I remember the first trailer for Series 9 coming out and the trailer ends with Maisie Williams going, "What took you so long, old man?" And everyone was like, "Oh my god, that's going to be the Doctor's daughter from that Season 4 episode."
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not. But also, because obviously Game of Thrones was the thing, big at that point, I was like, if they turn her into a new companion, I was like, I didn't like her. Really didn't like that idea. But then they did that at the end, which, given what Doctor Who has done any time it's given itself an avenue, they didn't make a spin-off series out of it.
Well, they didn't with his daughter, did they?
No, or Strax, Vastra, Jenny. I think they've got a couple of audiobooks, but there's no series based on them. You think that's what they're going.
Again, the Doctor's daughter has audios. She does have audiobooks.
Yeah. Oh, but they don't even... Shilda and Clara don't even have that.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, all right.
Especially given its, identity politics.
Yeah.
Tech. It is weird they have done that. Doctor Who with 2 women.
Yeah.
It's strange.
A woman and an immortal.
Yeah. I didn't mind her. The problem is, her introductory episode, it's Arya light. It's Game of Thrones-y times.
Yeah, but I've only liked her as Arya. I don't like her anything else.
But do you know what I mean? That was the problem, because she's just Arya.
Yeah.
I didn't, she was fine.
Again, a decent idea. The Doctor makes somebody immortal and they have to live with that immortality.
Yeah.
But that should have been the season. We get 3 episodes of her. He turns up in episode 2 and she's like, oh, I barely remember you.
Yeah.
I've had to write all my memories and diaries because I keep forgetting shit.
Yeah.
Because I live forever. And then her my role in life is going to be you go around saving people and then I stay behind and make sure that they are able to live a normal life again.
Yeah.
That feels like a season, it doesn't feel like 3 episodes within a season.
Yeah. It's a bit weak as well, though, as a premise, isn't it? I like they mirror each other, they follow each other.
Yeah.
But I'm just like the PTSD support group.
Yeah.
I'll just talk to them after.
My glamorous role within society.
Because you've said before, the role of the companion is to look after the people.
Yes.
As it's happening, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it feels like an unnecessary role.
Yeah.
You're good, like a follow-up.
Yeah, I don't particularly like Face the Raven as an episode,
No.
but I like the idea of that street. That there is a place that people go to after dealing with the Doctor.
Trap Street.
Diagon Alley vibes.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing. But I just... Because there probably would be a place for them.
A hate club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying intersectionality grievance team. I don't think that would... in real life it happens. All the people that are the blacks and we're all oppressed, so let's band together.
Yeah.
I don't know whether...
Well, it's an asylum seeking street, isn't it?
Yeah,
you seek
but
asylum in that
League
street.
of Villains, I don't know. Some would hate each other just as much as they hate.
I see.
The Doctor.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Right, okay, let's go on to the Husbands of River song then.
Okay.
I know you hate Matt Lucas generally.
Oh, yes.
George. I don't hate him generally, but I understand why you'd hate him in this. What is he doing?
He's doing Matt Lucas.
But it's more... It's Matt Lucas for kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the Matt Lucas face.
Yeah, he's doing the blinking and the wide eyes. Like, ooh, dear.
It's so bad. I don't think these chipper, family-friendly Christmas specials work with Capaldi.
Absolutely not.
I don't know what they do. It's such a tone, especially when I was watching it back-to-back. Going from that episode to the Christmas special.
Yeah.
It's such a tonal shift.
The first one as well, Last Christmas, which we skipped over entirely.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus episode.
Yeah.
Which is an alien homage?
Yeah.
Alien and the Thing meets Doctor Who and Santa Claus. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to say more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do.
Do you know Jenna Coleman was actually that was going to be a final episode?
Last Christmas.
Yeah. I think the idea was that the Doctor goes to see her as an old woman and she dies.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. It'd be nice if a companion did die at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
They refuse to do that.
Yeah.
They all fucking die.
They don't. Rose is alive, right?
No, under Stephen Moffat,
Yeah.
Amy and Roy, dead.
Are they dead?
No, an angel sends them back in time and they live a normal life.
Yeah, they're not dead.
But they end up dead in the room.
Well, everyone ends up dead eventually, Eddie.
No, because
back to our first fucking
because the way
conversation.
T. Davis leaves it,
Yeah.
Rose is still alive, Martha is still alive,
Yeah.
Donna is still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Moffat comes in.
Amy and Rory is still alive. Clara is still
No.
alive. Clara lives forever.
He's
No.
talking about Amy and Rory.
Yeah, Amy and Rory. In the end, when he sees it in the day, they are dead.
No.
He cannot go back and see them. They are dead. That is done.
Well, we talked
They're
about
dead
how
as far
that's
as he's
bullshit.
concerned.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then they
Okay, I
do,
get
technically
you.
speaking, they do the same with Clara. She dies, yes, she comes back, but he doesn't know the fuck she is for that period of time.
But, in that sense, all the companions are dead to him then. Because they're all no longer in his life.
Yeah.
No, but he still remembers who, Martha
Yeah,
and things
okay.
like that, and he knows that they are
But
still
you know
alive.
what I mean? I would appreciate it if they would just kill a companion and be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're dead now. Dead.
Well, yeah, but technically Amy and Rory count as that.
No, they don't. I really don't think they do.
I honestly can't remember what...
Well, they're not coming back.
Just because we see their gravestone, it doesn't mean that they're dead. It means that they've lived a normal life.
Yeah, but he can't ever visit them.
Yeah, but we've talked about how that's bullshit.
No, but the point with Doctor Who, the point with that death...
He can't visit Rose. Rose is in a parallel dimension.
Yeah, but he gave her a doctor.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he can visit her.
No, but he knows that she is still alive and in safe hands.
Okay, but if we're talking about if we're judging alive by who he's in contact with, then they're all dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I'm judging it on the basis of how they were written, like, out of the show.
Right.
So when Tennant leaves, the way it's written out of the show is that Rose and all that are still alive
Doing their own thing.
in the time in which in present day.
Right.
Yeah. Just because they're not alive in present day doesn't mean that the way they left the show is that they died.
Yes, but the point with Moffat was that he was killing companions rather than keeping them alive. Yes.
Enough. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, okay?
Eddie's wrong, we'll leave it at that.
No,
George, shut the fuck up.
I get where I do genuinely get where Eddie's coming from, because yes, they do kind of kill Amy and Rory.
We see their grave.
Yes.
Yes,
They're dead.
I admit that.
Yes.
But
What I meant was, you know what I was getting at. I wanted a companion to die unambiguously.
Yes.
Like he's with them, they die.
Like Clara, if they didn't bring Clara back, she would have died.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I was going to say, because I appreciated that.
Yeah.
They've killed one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it does feel weird that they'll probably come back into it at some point, right?
Who?
Clara and Ashilda.
No.
No.
No?
No. No, that's the last we see of that.
No, I don't mean... I mean in the future. Series 40.
Oh, who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, Captain Jack is back. Spoilers.
Is he? Okay, well, there you go. They could come back.
He shows off for 8 seconds.
He's Matt Lucas.
The worst thing to happen to Doctor Who.
Oh, I won't go that far. What is the... I'll have to think about that.
Well, I'm sure you would say Donna, right?
Oh, it might be stuff worse. She is consistent, to be fair.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Donna. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like what the tone of this episode. It's the music, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always the music. They're like, what? Greg Davis?
Okay. Question for you both.
Yeah.
Why hire Greg Davis, one of the tallest men in showbiz, and put him in a robot suit where we only ever see his head, and spend most of the episode as a disembodied head?
Irony. I don't know.
They assumed it would be funny.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the problem again with Doctor Who. It's like they're casting Matt Lucas and Greg Davis for the Christmas special. It undermines the sanctity, if you like, of what that show does.
Oh, very quickly before I forget, Dan Starkey, the Sontaran man.
Yeah.
He was one of the elves in Last Christmas.
Oh, was he?
Picked up
Okay,
on that.
I didn't pick up on that. No.
Okay. Well, you've now seen him as he truly is.
Okay. I don't think you like Greg Davis in this, right?
Well, no, I like Greg Davis.
Okay, I like Greg Davis as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good actor, even though he taught acting.
No, I like him. I mean, he's alright in The In-Betweeners.
Yeah, to be fair, he is pretty good in The In-Betweeners.
Yes.
But he also used to be a school teacher.
I was going to say, he probably is just doing what he knows.
That's his role.
Yeah.
That was Greg Davis's role.
It's like if they gave Ramesh Ranganathan that role.
Yes.
He used to be a teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
But like Man Down, I think is wank.
Yeah. Like after that, I like him in Taskmaster.
Okay.
And he's just hosting.
Yeah, he's good on panel shows.
He's good on panel shows. Yeah. I'm not even a massive fan of his stand-up, but I like him as a presence on panel shows.
I don't mind some of his stand-up.
Yeah, he's okay. But in this, I don't know what he's doing again. I am king, what was it? Hydroflax?
Hydroflax.
I remember the detail.
Hey!
It was the last thing I watched, but yeah.
Eddie, applaud Sam.
Applaud my detail remembrance skills. Okay.
I'll just layer that so it sounds like multiple people clapping.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just pause the recording.
There's
I think it's a bad acting all round though. Like
it is.
River Song, maybe it's just because we haven't seen her in a while, but she was not good in this episode.
No.
I did not like Alex Kingston. I think that like the conceit of the fact that she just doesn't recognise Capaldi. Like, fair enough, she's never seen that incarnation of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But the amount of hints he fucking drops. She'd know he was the Doctor.
Yeah.
You know? That's irritating. And yeah, she's just too irritating. Yeah. I don't like
I just think she hadn't done it in long enough. And there was the added pressure of A, people were like, oh, River Song's back. And B, they had to do a story which met the approval of David Tennant and Matt Smith because they both objected to the fact that she was coming back to do a story with Capaldi.
Right. Poor Capaldi. Also, didn't we like say goodbye to River Song? Wasn't that what the name of the Doctor was about? Like she kisses Matt Smith and they're like, you know, I've died at this point, Matt Smith.
Right.
It was to tell the story they hadn't done.
Is the idea
which
that
was Deryllium.
Yeah.
It was the only story they hadn't done.
Deryllium. So like they're gonna be together for 24 years, right?
Yes.
Is she gonna die then?
So what happens? So
Immediately after Beryllium, she goes to the library.
So when you went to the
Yeah.
library and get saved, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the final significant point in her timeline that we haven't seen. So I guess I understand.
Why doesn't she recognize him?
Well, she's never seen Capaldi before. She doesn't know who this doctor is.
This might get into timey-wimey stuff, so I don't want to open it up too much.
Okay.
But when she's in the library...
Yeah, in that she says you showed up with a new suit and fresh hair. So he had a hair. So he gets a haircut for this episode. Okay,
so when she's on
Delirium.
when she's in the library, she hasn't experienced delirium yet.
Yes, yeah. That's the thing she does directly before the library.
So how the fuck doesn't she recognize him then?
Well, because it's David Tennant in the library.
He's David Tennant.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the time.
This episode is the only time she ever interacts with the Capaldi.
Yeah.
Literally within the time.
It's not that. It's trying to place her chronology.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is penultimate River Song.
Yeah. Although technically speaking, the episode in the time of the Doctor where she appears in the dream, whatever it is,
it's fine, Eddie. It's fine.
That is after the library.
That's technically not her. That's Data Core version.
Yeah.
When does she meet the Doctor?
She meets him
in
Let's Kill Hitler.
Okay.
Is that what you mean? The first time they interact?
The first time they meet.
Yeah, technically it's Let's Kill Hitler.
And who is it in that?
Matt Smith.
Who does she fall in love with?
I think it's Matt Smith. Yeah.
And she gets lumbered with Capaldi. That's gotta suck, innit? The one that she ends up with 24 years, and it's Peter Capaldi.
No,
it's a better age match.
I'd spend 24 years.
It's a better age
Capaldi.
match. Yeah, but you don't want to fuck him, do you?
No, but I'd be in his company for 24 years.
Yeah, but I think she wants him to sax her.
Right, okay.
To be fair, I'd do that to Alex Kingston.
Would I?
Not anymore, I don't think.
I mean, realistically, yes. The question is ideally.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You know, is it Sherwood? The Robot of Sherwood? That's the episode, isn't it?
Robot of Sherwood.
Yeah. In that episode, there's that really clunky, terrible line.
Yeah.
When do you stop believing in impossible heroes?
Yes.
There's one of those in The Husbands of River Song.
There's a few of those.
There is. But the worst one is why are you ignoring the towers? They're ignoring me, but then you can't expect a monolith to love you back.
Yeah. When you love the Doctor, it's like loving the stars themselves. You don't expect a sunset to love you back.
Yeah, it's just, oh my god.
I will say,
it's not okay.
I will say, there's one moment in this episode I did genuinely like, and that's when Capaldi, quote unquote, experiences the TARDIS for the first time.
Oh yeah, and he's going through the...
Yeah. Oh my god! Yeah, and he's screaming. That's funny. I do really like that moment.
That's all I got.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't like one of the best episodes of Doctor Who?
No.
Because...
I just nothing it. I don't dislike it. Okay. It just passed me by.
It's really good.
Don't try and argue to me, win me over to the fact. I'm not going to agree with you because I don't even remember it.
Okay. Well, you should.
There's no point.
You should because it's really
doing
good.
what you're about. Okay. All right.
Also, if you didn't like that, then we're kind of fucked going forward.
But I knew we were
because this was your last. This was your I think apart from the Cyberman episode that is to come.
Yeah.
This was your last chance to like a Doctor Who episode.
Well, you don't know. Because I have a weird taste.
Nah, trust me.
Okay.
You won't. You won't like it going forward.
Yeah, you won't like that.
Do you like Heaven Sent, Eddie?
Yes.
You do. Okay. So that is generally considered.
I think that yes. Generally
of that series, it's probably my favourite.
The only competition is Under the Lake, I would say. Because the Zygon inversion isn't great.
Yeah, if they'd done the story better, I would have been happy because I like Zygons.
Yes.
The big...
Yeah.
At this point, right, because I'm kind of done with it, mentally, emotionally, and it's just passing me by, when it's got a lot going on, or convoluted, I tend just to not...
This is sort of the one disadvantage of continuing to do this, isn't it? That you've reached a point where you're so indifferent to it that there's kind of no point.
Oh, there's no point
in discussing it because you have nothing to say and you don't even remember the stuff that we're alluding to.
And the point, but my point was going to be, so when at this point there's a dumb episode, I don't like it, but I appreciate the break.
So, the stopgap of I'm not having to remember shit and being tangled up in threads and
so
it's just Doctor Who taking a breath for a moment.
The Ishilda introduction episode, the Viking one.
Oh, see, I hate that episode.
Yeah, that's the thing. I knew you would.
Yeah,
but I don't like it.
I find that episode cringy. That's why I don't like it.
Okay, I don't like it. But I knew I was with it though. I understood what was happening for the whole episode.
Oh yeah, how do you feel about that being the explanation for why Capaldi is Capaldi? Because that episode explains
you
why
know.
he's Capaldi.
That they have to do it. They have
But
to do
again,
something.
it feels like the Zygon episode. It's like, oh, we're doing this now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. The reason I just don't want to help the Vikings fight Odin. Oh, I'm Peter Capaldi. Yeah, I'll help him fight Odin.
Do you reckon
Really?
Do you reckon it was an afterthought?
A lot of this season feels like that.
Yeah.
The bootstrap.
Well,
The bootstrap paradox opening feels like they could have done that in an earlier episode. The Capaldi explanation feels like they could have done it earlier. The Zygon episode feels like they could have done it earlier. There's a lot of that, I think.
the reveal of why he is, was it Cornelius or whatever his name was?
Yeah, from Pompeii.
From Pompeii. I think that was meant to be in Series 8.
I suppose, actually, yeah, that
But
makes...
likewise, there are episodes in this which were meant to be in the series before.
I think Sleep No More was supposed to be Series 8, was it?
Sleep No More was meant to be, was Gatus.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
It was meant...
Do we like the Gatus episode, the series?
What was it?
Sleep No More, the found footage one.
Oh no, that might be my least favourite.
Okay, good.
I hated it. It's gimmick.
That was
Yeah.
meant to be his episode for last series.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he got asked to write about... Is the series before the Ice Warriors? Or was it...
Oh, no, that's Series 7.
Yeah, it was meant to be in Series 8. And then got pushed
Okay.
to Series
Yeah,
9.
yeah.
I've got to confess something.
Right.
Mainly because if Heaven Sent is such a loved, revered episode, I don't want to come off looking like I don't get something.
Okay.
I didn't really watch it.
Okay.
I put it on
Yeah.
and I wrote as it was happening.
Okay. Oh, it's your fault then.
Yes. I've done that with a few episodes, I'm not going to
Okay,
lie. Because
right.
I can't at this point sitting down just watching it is like asking too much of me.
Okay.
See, I'm not a Philistine. I just didn't watch it properly.
See, part of me would like to encourage you to reconsider watching that specific
Right.
episode.
I will rewatch that episode.
Okay. I do think it's worth giving your attention.
Well, I don't really know what happened.
Okay.
Because as far as I know, as far as I heard,
Yeah.
basically, was just like, I knew it was him on his own
Yeah.
in this castle, and he kept jumping into the water.
Yeah.
Sort of all I got out of it.
Okay.
really. So
There's definitely more to it than that.
yeah, it's not like I watched it, considered it, and dismissed it.
Okay.
I just didn't really watch it
Okay.
because I
Well-
had stuff to do.
Well, when we
But-
get to Series 10, because
Yeah.
I have already watched Series 10,
Okay.
and I have literally no notes for it.
Literally no notes.
No.
Okay.
Like, I have like one or two notes for like a couple of episodes, but most of the episodes, I have literally nothing.
Okay.
So we'll carve out a little bit of time at the beginning of the next discussion
To revisit this.
to revisit
episode.
Heaven Sent to see what you think of it.
Okay.
Because, yeah, that was the last Doctor Who episode that deserved
the
your
end.
attention, I think.
Okay. All right. On that note, are we done?
Did we recommend Series 9?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Oh God, no.
At this point, I'm not even sure I'm recommending Doctor Who.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
the problem, though, innit?
we're past that point.
It fucks up. It colours your view of everything that came before.
Yeah, how can you recommend Doctor Who? Because, like, you got Series 3, but you got Series 9
Yeah.
as well, you know?
And the first
Because I tell
four.
them to watch the first four, first five. I'll give you that.
The first four
Ends
or five.
before Series 6. Yeah.
Even though there are peaks and troughs, you can broadly say, yeah, it's like a decent show for the first 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, stop.
you
Stop
definitely got to stop. You would have stopped by now, I assume. Were we not doing the podcast?
He wouldn't have watched it.
I wouldn't have watched it had it not been for the podcast. But if I did start watching it, I have a sickness and I would have watched it all.
Yeah, you would.
Right, okay.
I genuinely, I was saying to Eddie before the podcast, because I try and keep on top of everything
Yeah.
on TV, basically. It's no exaggeration to say that 95% of the stuff I watch I don't like.
Okay.
I spend most of my time watching things I don't enjoy.
Right, okay.
So I would have watched all of Doctor Who.
Okay, alright.
We will revisit Heaven Sent.
Yes.
Should we leave on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
See ya.